Don't say that. They've been doing that on iCarly for.
What? What? Say what? A countdown? Huh? What? What? What?
Yeah,
Are you gay? Are you gay? I
what's
think
today?
it.
Wednesday? Nope.
Yes. Any day that ends in a Y. Remember that was your agreement.
Then that would mean I'm gay every day. You can't get that by me, Bram.
Well, I got it in you, so I don't see why I can't get it by you. Oh! See what I did there?
That's kind of nasty.
What's going on, guys? We are on episode 3. And so far, no special guest just yet. It's going to be an on-the-fly type of thing. Ah, man. So, what is it we're going to be talking about today? I know I know when I posted on Google about the hashtag Google, I know we're covering that. Rambo, you said they're changing the search algorithm. Is that correct? Like they're changing it around?
Yes, they are changing it to basically remove white people, I think, from existence.
Why?
Nice.
I have no earthly idea. I mean, apparently we're not allowed to actually be white anymore.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
I even went over to Bing thinking, okay, well, screw this. I'm going to go to Bing and actually start using Bing as my search engine because, fuck Google. And I'll be damned if Bing isn't just like ready to jump on the SJW bandwagon as well, too.
Now, don't they share algorithms though? Like I could have sworn like these search engines shared algorithms. So if like Google makes any major changes to the actual coding, like I would figure that it would affect everybody, wouldn't it? Would it not? Like I'm pretty sure it works.
Well,
that way.
I think Bing actually has their own search algorithm.
Yeah, but a search engine algorithm is, it's like it's kind of like a map. So all of these search engines will start with the same map, and then they'll customize it their own way.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess, like I said, Bing does something different than, like, say, Google. Like, whenever you search for them, Bing Google will give you like just images or shit like that, but Bing will give you like different little keywords that you can put in that is supposed to relate really heavily to your topic to narrow your search down. So it'll give you, like, I guess, suggestions of words to use related to the search that you put in to narrow it down to get the exact results that you want.
Yeah, see, that's their own custom part of that map I was talking about.
Okay, and oh my gosh, this is so.
He's like, it triggered already.
It did. It pissed me the hell off. It was you search. I mean, I found this by going through like the Google Manifesto hashtag on Twitter. I saw this black woman tweet out saying, Google, you done lost your mind. And she had a search result. And her search was American inventors. And you know how, like, when you type in like certain like developers or something, that very top row will be nothing but like the games that they made?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this, where it says American inventors, the whole top row was nothing but black inventors. Like, they took completely like the Wright brothers, they're not even in the top 50.
Not Thomas Edison or anything like that?
Oh, Thomas Edison's at the very end of the list. Like, you have to scroll all the way over to see Thomas Edison.
So, like, the dude that invented peanut butter and the traffic light and shit like that, they're at the top?
Top of the line. All black inventors.
God damn, we need light bulbs before peanut butter.
Then you search white women, white babies together. That search term right there, white women, white babies. Just a minute. Let me click on his name and send message. Okay, you click on you search white women, white babies, and it comes up everything but white women and white babies. You'll have black women, white babies with a white baby, a white woman with a black baby. I mean, all the images are nothing but mixed race kids and kids that aren't even fucking white. Like, they're completely gone. Like, there's no white family that pops up at all.
So what? Like, are they
you search, like,
so are they thinking that, like, that's... So my thinking is like that they're trying to change the way people view a generalized family, I'm guessing, right? Or a traditional family?
Well, yes, but I mean, but the thing is, though, is if you search black women, black babies, you get black women, black babies.
Oh, so it's completely segregated then.
Yes, like you actually get a yes. And then if you go to Bing, I thought, okay, well, shit, I'll be smart and I'll go to Bing because Bing ain't part of this stupid SJW bullshit. And I'll be damned, their search terms like to help narrow down the search terms for white people, white women, white babies. Their very first suggestion to help narrow it down is racist and racism.
What the fuck?
So instead, we're not going to the back of the bus anymore, guys. We're flipping the script and going to the back of a search engine.
Yeah, we're like completely like they're completely removing us from anything. And it's not like that I care, but it's just like it's so. I mean, it's not like I care like that. Like big deal. I mean, it doesn't hurt me at all. But it's like you're gone. Like if you search European people history in Google and go to images, you get images of black people. Like literally all black people.
So what we're
Tell me how European. Go ahead.
So it feels like we're getting the habitual "ha, now you know how we feel" type of mode.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah. And if you go to search European people's art, it's all black people in the art. Like there's no white people, and you're talking European, okay?
Is it Black History Month or no?
No, that's February.
That's February.
Oh, okay.
This is race?
This is their actual way of just like being like the SJW shit that they are.
What race is like the dude that oversees that, or a girl? I don't mean to be sexist.
I really don't actually. I don't actually know because I don't know who runs that portion of it. But with the way they handle that manifesto crap, it just shows that they are fully on board with this. White people are racist bullshit.
Well, I'd be okay with them stating, like, racism in a general sense. Like, hey, you guys are a bunch of motherfuckers. And I'd be like, you know what? That's fine. They got a point. They've been racist against for so long. I understand that. But then they're going to go ahead and take it a step further. And they're going to just go ahead and umbrella everybody that's done nothing wrong.
Yep.
That's not helping us at all. This is just making more of a divide. And I was watching Milo Yiannopoulos with what's-his-face today, and he made a good point. What they're doing is they're trying to create more racism out of the white community by creating more traditional racism. So that way they can always use the argument of the possibility of, well, you're just a white guy, you don't understand about black struggle. So if there is nobody that exists that way, let's just create people that exist that way so we can have the perpetual fucking victimhood that, we're all known for, evidently. Like, that's fucking stupid, dude.
There is no such thing anymore as black struggle. Yes, some of them get beat up by police, but white people do too. It's just not national news when we do.
There's also, to me, there's no, I had a long Twitter argument today with this guy trying to say that we need to raise the minimum wage to like, I think he was actually even suggesting higher than $15 an hour.
Oh, he's a fucking retard.
And he was like saying that he was a server. Well, I guess he ended up saying that he wasn't this person that he was saying, that he's doing just fine, but he's actually fighting him on behalf of these people. But a server that makes $12 an hour. What? Okay, first of all, what server at what restaurant do you know that makes $12 an hour?
None. I don't know anybody out here where I live that makes that much. In fact, most of the servers out here make like $3 an hour.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm thinking if a server is making $12 an hour, I don't think that server is going to complain at all.
Hell no.
And he said that, but $12 an hour isn't enough. It's not a living wage. It needs to be higher. This is bullshit. This is stupid.
Okay, fine. Then we don't need to tip you then. Simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly for that. But we tried to explain to him that being poor is a choice. And as long as you're able-bodied it's a choice. Like you had to, he goes, no, it's systematic oppression. And I was like, no. I said if it was systematic oppression, there's no way Dr. Ben Carson could have ever become a world-renowned neurosurgeon, because he was in Section 8, dirt-ass poor, but yet still made it all the way to the world-renowned status as far as in neurosurgery. He's like, but that's one guy. But I said, it doesn't matter. If it's a systematic thing, nobody gets through the system.
Exactly. If it's systematic, there is no fucking way one person's gonna stick out of the fucking deck of cards. There's no fucking way. Because
they would look at you like you're poor. You can't get past this line.
All systematic oppression is nowadays, Rambo, is a fucking a candied term of I'm too fucking lazy to go and hit the pavement and look for a fucking job. That's all that
is. I told him, I said, you're just making an excuse now. I said, that's the reason why most people stay poor, is because they make excuses for themselves. And I'm not rich by any means. I'm not saying that I'm talking down to people. I'm actually on the same level as these people for the most part. What we make.
I would say more is like being homeless or something is a choice. Like being poor is being, well, I don't know. It depends what kind of poor you're talking about.
Well, being poor to the point of like where you're being forced to work at a minimum wage, an entry-level minimum wage job, and trying to make ends meet, and thinking that, well, the system needs to change its ways in order to allow me to live off this job.
No, like
I think that is a choice, because you can always go to college and actually better yourself and get a better paying job. Pull yourself out of poverty.
That's a lifestyle choice. You have a champagne taste on a beer budget is what I call it. You live within your means. If you can't do that, that's a fucking choice.
Yes, that's exactly why most poor people make bad choices that keeps them perpetually poor. He was like, well, what about my kids and my family? I'm like, dude, you shouldn't have had kids if you were poor.
If you were poor and the first thing you thought was, man, I am not pulling out, you're a fucking retard. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's like it's a saying, like you made the poor life choice. Now you shouldn't be able to walk to McDonald's and say, look, I make poor life choices, so therefore you owe me $15 an hour. How's that going to help you? You're going to make poor money choices with that money.
Give the people that are fucking 30 that have been there since they were 16 $15 an hour, not these people walking in off the streets.
I don't know, man. I think this whole thing is a fucking sham, and they're like, I understand what they're trying to do, right? I understand.
Wait. I want to address Stonesy real quick in there.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you realize exactly what you just typed? You said homeless isn't always a choice. Now, okay, remember that. It's his first statement. Say the environment at home is so bad you can't live there because you left voluntarily. The government won't rehouse you because you chose to make yourself homeless.
Well,
that would be the choice.
He did say homeless isn't always a choice.
No, there are some occasions where it's not.
So I mean, he's still because look at it this way, dude. how the fuck are you gonna live in an area that oppresses you, right? Like it'd be like, let's say Rambo, you're black, right? Like just paint you as the token black.
I'm actually a good example of that, Brim. Why did I leave California?
Okay, there you go. But you had a plan. You chose to have a plan.
But you have a home, though.
You have a plan now, is what I'm saying. You chose.
Yeah.
You know, that's
but I mean, he also has a home, though.
But here's where I'm gonna get at, though. All right, say you're the token black guy. You move into some fucking bumfuck town of West Virginia, okay? And it is literally ran by KKK, but you didn't know that until you got there. So here you are, you and your family thinking you were gonna be bringing up your children in a nice Christian fucking environment, and to find out you are literally the sore subject of an entire neighborhood. Now, what are you going to do, Rambo? Are you going to choose? But by the way, you're already established. You're established, so you don't know
but
this.
Wait a minute, though. Before you decide to go move your family to an area, if you don't do the necessary homework to find out that area's history and everything else, and you move there anyway, and then all of a sudden you realize that, hey, I am in KKK territory, that was still a choice you made.
Yeah, but let's face it, dude. You could go to Trulia, and they will make fucking living in South America sound like a blessing. I mean, you go and do any research, and almost every site you go to, dude, especially in the United States, I mean, there are slums in California, and you look up some of these small towns of California, and they will make it sound like it's a paradise. They're like,
they'll show you pictures of palm trees and pools.
Well, yeah,
dude.
but I mean, yeah, but that's the reason why. Like, I mean, I would do my, like, if I was going to be moving to another state, I would drive to another state and look at the actual neighborhood myself.
Well, no, I mean, come on, dude. Not everybody's gonna have that luxury of having that kind of money to drive across the state. I mean, just saying, man. Usually, like, for a lot of these people, it's a one-trick pony, and they're just putting their chips in the basket in hopes that they get a better fucking future. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, I didn't have that luxury of driving here from California to check out the neighborhood, and everything I researched online, I didn't trust. But because Brim, I was lucky enough to know someone that lives in this area.
Yeah.
You know, I trusted what he said because he's been here like what, almost all your life.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, but I mean, I would still go take that back to that was your choice to do that.
Yeah, but
that was a choice.
It may be a choice, but still, the circumstances can sometimes fuck you up. That's all I was trying to say is.
It can, yes, but it can. But I mean, that's still like it still goes back to choice though. Like the choices you made led you to be homeless.
So
I would say the circumstances drive you to make a choice.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that.
Traverse Lichmore, what's up, bro? Yeah, no, you're good. Hey, Rambo. Hey, he says hi to everybody. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
Okay, it was just the way he explained it in that comment was like, it's not always a choice, but even though you choose, I'm like.
Well, that's why he said it's not always a choice.
Okay, yeah, I know, but like, just the way that thing ran together, it read as like, it's not always a choice, but you made a choice. I'm like, but that it's contradictory. But now that you broke it up like that, it's a little bit more understandable.
Oh yeah, if I could word Nazi you to death and make sure everybody doesn't misunderstand you, I could do it to the other guys. That's just how I am. You know how I am. I am a vocabulary Nazi when it comes to like the meanings of words. Although I do spell like shit, so hey, I do spell like shit. I'm not gonna lie.
With what Stonesy said though, and the government won't rehouse you, that's not their responsibility.
No. The government should never have to be the one that rehouses you.
Yeah.
And yes, Cyrus, you are correct that not every the people with mental health that is a whole nother ball of worms because the thing is the country decided a long time ago that these mental health facilities were not humane, which they weren't, to be honest, with the lobotomies and shit like that they were doing. But instead of like revamping them and actually cleaning them out and fixing them up to be like what they should be, they decided to close them down and like basically cut down on mental health insurance altogether. And even to this day, whenever a mass shooting happens and the dude's mentally unstable, they, instead of actually like saying, look, we need to talk about mental health, they say, look, we need to talk about guns. Because taking a gun away from a mentally ill isn't going to stop that mentally ill person from killing somebody. They're going to find some other means to do it.
Or themselves.
Yeah, or themselves. So, I mean, like, the mental health situation for being homeless is definitely a troubling one. But the thing also is that, I mean, it's because of our nation, we just don't seem to give a shit about the mentally ill.
No, you're right, though. You're absolutely right. We don't care two shits about our homeless because we look at them. We've been raised as a society to look down on people like that, to be like, huh, that's just another fucking crazy kook. Just keep walking. We don't really stop and be like, hey, man, do you need help? Like, do you want some help? You know what I mean? And it really is a shame. I tried to actually change that about myself. In the last couple of years, I had a mentally ill person living near me, and I understood the situation quite well. In fact, I probably understood it a little bit better than I wanted to. They were taking her check and living off of it out of this fucking house, and they kept her outside. So they were cashing in on her money that was supposed to be used to take care of her. So when people ask me, like, you know, Brimstone, you know, Andrew, why do you care so much about mental health, or better yet, why are you against government-funded programs? That's one of the reasons why. because there's a lot of people out there that will take advantage of them, and the money will not go to the intended purposes that it's being sent for.
Maybe it needs to be more heavily regulated.
It needs way more regulation than it has. Yeah, dude, because you could sign up tomorrow, Shane, for your bipolar shit and get something else, I'm sure. There's more than one. There's more than one program for governments that are funding it for mental issues. There's more than.
Then we can go buy weed, Brim.
Yo, I'm down. Let's do this.
What Stumsy said that like England has gone full SJW, is going full SJW, still not as bad as America, thank fuck. But I mean, is England is part of the UK, right? Like, because I know that Great Britain, the way they do their bullshit over there like confuses me. It always has UK, the EU, all this other bullshit that they do.
Well, bottom line is, Rambo, you'd still go to jail if you got on Twitter over there. So
yes, that's the thing. Is like they've gone like full retard over there. So the point of like where they will actually lock people up for saying mean things on Twitter and Facebook. And here in America, we don't do that. We actually
Rambo can never go there.
I can never live in the. I'll never even be able to visit the UK.
Maybe without your cell phone, you would.
Yeah,
stay off your cell phone if you're in that part of the country, bro. You'll be fine.
My wife said she's taking my cell phone if we ever travel overseas, and I'm like, you're gonna have to. I was like, because I'm gonna end up on like life without parole. I mean, like that's just the shit that I say, man, is just not going to be okay at all. Okay, the UK is compromised of England, Ireland, and Scotland. Well, that whole area there is completely just gone nuts with the SJW thing. Like the police departments on Twitter bragging about locking people up for saying mean things online.
Really?
Y'all's rules over there, and like
they're actually bragging about that shit though.
Yes, they're actually, and then people like they put out a tweet that had shit misspelled, and people were mocking them on like in replies, and now they actually put out saying that they are like now searching through all their replies to go lock up people that were making fun of them. These people, they're gone crazy.
That's fucking ridiculous. So they get chastised and made fun of, and they're just like, "You guys hurt my feelings. Jail time."
Yes, and then there was a man in the UK that put a bacon burger on the outside of a mosque because Muslims don't like bacon. He got 1 year in jail. And then there was a Muslim that actually in the same area that got convicted of rape. But yet he was actually given no jail time because he was the only person in his family that spoke English.
What? Wow.
I think I'll take America right now. It's all going to hell, but I mean, right now I think that the UK is going there faster.
Yo, like, that's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah. Convicted of rape, but no jail time because his family couldn't speak English, but he could. But, by God, don't believe a damn bacon cheeseburger outside of a mosque.
Hey, guys, what's going on? We got a special guest, Frozen Magma. What's going on? What do you have to say, bro?
Oh, what's up? Thanks for bringing me in. We live?
Yeah, we're live, bro.
We are live.
Oh, I didn't even know. I thought it was at 12 or something. But, yeah, I'm here.
Hey man, what you got to talk about? What you want to talk about, bro?
I don't know why you put me on the spot, man. You just threw me in here, and I didn't know what.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you what he sent me, so that way we can go from there. He is wanting a PC that is capable of streaming, and its main use is going to be like streaming and video editing. I think he did say that, like, if he ever is to play a PC game, it would likely be more of the lower end indie games and stuff like that, not really the big major third parties.
We can help with that.
So he sent me 3 different PCs, and one of them I really liked it because it had the AMD Ryzen 5 in there, but it was the 1400, which was the quad core. The GPU that came with it. This is really hard. Like it was a GeForce GTX 730.
Really?
So it looks like most of these PCs are going to have the 730 as far as the PC goes.
And I think that's
As
going
far
to be
as the
their
GPU
downfall right there.
Yeah, but the reason why he picked this is because he has like a little over $400 credit at GameStop, so it would be very little out of pocket.
Yeah, I finessed GameStop last month with that that whole debacle. I'm pretty sure any people in here probably heard about it.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's how I got the money. So I
Yeah.
wasn't really using it for anything. Like, I buy my games from Best Buy. I don't go to GameStop. So
So he was thinking, why not use that credit for a portion of the PC, and then only come out of pocket a small amount, and then maybe if we need to later on, he can actually change some parts around.
Yeah.
And so he sent me one with the Ryzen 5 1400. It's the quad core one at 3.1 gigahertz to 3.2 gigahertz.
3.2, 3.4 turbo.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with Ryzen. Just about every Ryzen, and it should hold true all the way up to Epic and all the way down to Ryzen 3, they all top out at about 4.1, 4.0.
Right. But I mean, it's, from what I've been seeing is to make sure you have a really damn good streaming thing, and one that would you definitely not have problems with. It's best to go with at least a 6-core.
That's what I would do, yeah.
Okay, so that's the reason I was like, then I messaging back saying basically I'd like to see that Ryzen be like the 15 or the what was it, the 1600X?
1600X, 1600. Here,
All
let me look up.
1600X is an overclock 1600, right?
Well,
Well,
they're all just overclocked versions of it. They don't even bin them any different within the series. So like the Ryzen 7 700s aren't binned any different from the 1800X or the 1700X for that matter. But they test them at different speeds. It's just, okay, this one can make it to 4.1. This one we can only get to 3.9. Okay, that one's a 1700. This one's an 1800X. So except for the core change, the actual binning doesn't matter. So usually it's best to get the lowest. I mean, you're playing a little bit with the chip lottery, but I mean, we're talking about, the max they go is 4.1. That's all without liquid nitrogen, that's all you're going to get. So there's no point in shooting for, if most of these chips can do 3.8, 3.9, no problem, and usually on air cooling, then there's unless you absolutely need that last, 200 megahertz, it's not worth the price premium to get an 1800X, because the 1800X is like $500, whereas the 1700 is only like 280 on sale. That's a big difference if you've got a budget.
Right.
And Lichmore was saying, remember, drivers are coming to Ryzen. So yeah, we still got to do a lot of. There's gonna be a lot of optimization drivers. And
there was already a huge bonus for the last Windows update and the last AMD driver update that I noticed, and it'll probably just keep getting better.
But Rambo showed me one with an i5 that Frozen was looking at.
Wouldn't that
be better? I mean, for streaming.
No.
Well, I'm asking you this one because this one has an AMD FX 6300.
That's the worst one.
Yeah, that FX is.
See, I'm not up to date with the AMD.
That's
side.
not even an 80. That's not even an 8000 series. So yeah, definitely stay away
that's the
from
reason
that
why. Okay, that's the reason why I wanted to, because I wasn't really. I know that it could stream, but I was like, is it going to be like more antiquated and stuff? But this one he sent me was like i5 7600K. 3.8 gigahertz. It just says as far as cores go, it just says multi-core. So I mean, I don't even know how many cores this thing actually has. It says 6 cores.
I think it's a quad.
It's a quad core.
It says 6 core. It says multi-core technology, 6 core, 64-bit computing.
I thought the 7000s
is that an X99 i5 or?
Oh yeah, that's right, huh? God, Intel's so fucked up.
That it doesn't say anything about the X99 or X86.
What model i5 is it?
It says i5 7600K 3.8 gigahertz.
Yeah, I believe that's X99. Yeah, wait, no. Kaby Lake is X99, right, Brim?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, Kaby Lake.
Yes.
Yeah, Kaby Lake is. Yeah, that is X99.
Okay, then that's an X99 chip, so he'd be running on DDR4 RAM and everything.
Yeah, he's got DDR. It's got DDR4 in here. Everything for him. So I mean, I would think that the i5 7600K would be his best bet as far as like the PCs that he sent me.
Okay, so
These are all pre-built.
So Stonesy's saying it's not. So let me look this up real quick. I want to make sure we're
Seriously?
right on this. Yeah, I want to.
I could have swore all of the Intel 7000 series were quad cores, except for like
Yeah,
one.
so did I. I didn't know.
Yeah,
This says
Well, this thing says
DDR4
six
and
core.
3 support. So
This thing says
that's impossible.
Okay,
that's-
so this is an i5 7600K, right?
yes.
Not an i7.
No, an i5 7600K.
I have the Newegg link right here. It says great for VR experience, maximum turbo frequency 4.2, Intel HD graphics unlocked, DDR4 and DDR3L support, display resolution, yeah. So
But it's a quad core though. It's not a 6-core.
yeah, exactly. Sockets 1151. That's X99, right?
Yes, that's X99.
No, wait.
That's what I have. I have an 1151 socket on mine, and I have X99.
I thought 1150 spanned more than one generation though. I thought
Oh,
they-
Z7. Okay.
yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's why it says it's DDR3 and 4 because one motherboard can only have
3L,
one
that's
socket.
different.
Yeah.
Okay, now see, I have the 6700K, i7 6700K, which is X99. Mine was. At least that's what it said whenever I bought it.
This isn't X99 or is it?
No,
It doesn't-
the Z270 series.
Okay. So what the hell are they talking about with 6 cores then?
I don't know why they said that. Oh, wait a minute. It's got the Kaby Lake has got they're quad cores, but they act like a 6-core because of the way they're the multi-threading. I think it is.
So
called,
what? They have 4 physical cores with 2 dedicated to hyper-threading? Like the fuck?
Yes,
Something
they
like
have.
that,
They
yeah.
have
That is
they
so
have,
weird.
Like, they have like 8 hyper-threading or 4 hyper-threading that basically goes down into two regular other cores. So it basically is a 6-core.
It's just like how Ryzen
performs
is
like a
8-core,
6-core.
16-thread, but there's only 8
It performs like
cores,
a-
but it's
yeah, it
just
performs like a
Intel's
6-core.
version of it. Yeah.
Ah, okay. 4-core, 8 threads.
Yes.
And by the way,
see,
for
Stonesy,
Ryzen,
it is socket 1151. I just posted the link.
yeah, it is socket 1151. It is. Yeah, it is 1151 socket. Yes.
for the Ryzen 5, by the way, there's 1400, 1500X, 1600, and 1600X. As the two 1600s are the 6 cores, and the 1500 and 1400 are 4 cores. That's the big problem right now. Is there's no decent Ryzen pre-made systems.
Well,
that's going to be an issue.
This comes the 7600K, i5 7600K. They all come with the GTX 7 or 5. I think it's 7. What did I say 750?
750, yeah.
No, you said 730, which is even worse.
730. Okay, yeah. Let me look and make sure this one, because this one, yeah, GT 730. Yes.
Is that integrated?
What do you mean integrated?
Is that on the chip
Like
itself?
integrated
No.
graphics?
Is that's
No.
a separate? That's a
Yeah,
actual
separate GPU.
physical
Yes.
7300, 730. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's an
He
old
said-
card.
Yeah, he said like I said, he's not using it for
Right.
gaming.
I just didn't even know you could get them still.
And he said, well, these are pre-built from GameStop, and like I said, the reason why he's using GameStop is because of the fact that he has a big, huge credit there, which would basically knock down like almost over half the cost of this PC. So therefore, he'd only be like spending like three little over $300 out of pocket. So he could get this PC for like an i5 7600K, the RAM, and then the of course the GPU for basically $300 out of pocket. And then he said that he could always later, if he can, he just wants one that if he needs to later on, he can also go and
Get a 1080 or whatever.
yeah, get a
graphics card he
1080,
likes,
pop it in there, and it's not really going to cost him that much more in the later down. But I still say that's actually a pretty damn good system. The
Yeah,
i5
that's
7600K.
not
Brendan,
bad.
you want to add Stonesy?
Yeah, we can add Stones. You want to come in, Stonesy?
He just wants to do it real quick, he said.
Stonesy, send me your avatar, unless you're just gonna jump in and jump out.
Yeah, he says he just wants to clear it up real quick, and then he's gonna leave because he's tired.
All right, that's fine. You come in.
Well, I'm tired of his nonsense. So what now?
The i5 7600, the i5 7600K is socket 1151.
The PC description says so. The Newegg link says so.
Everything says so.
It might be a different variant of 1151 that I can see.
I think it's a different chipset. That's the confusion. Because
that's what I mean by variant.
Yeah, I swear, it's the 1157. I think it's at least 2 generations of motherboards that they used it for, and they didn't change the socket in between.
Even the Intel site says socket LGA 1151.
You got to jump in supporter or audience or something, Stonesy, and we'll pull you up.
Yep.
Yeah. Get on our level.
I'll send him a link real quick.
Get on our level, scrub.
All right, I'm gonna send you a link, Stonesy. Join and I'll pull you up, Nuka.
Nuka.
Stonesy.
Right.
All right, go for it, buddy. You're unmuted. Clear it up.
All right then. All right. The i5 exactly?
7600K.
Yeah, that's the latest i5. That's Kaby Lake. That is not X99. That is a 4-core, 8-thread CPU. It's not a bad CPU for gaming, but for streaming, it wouldn't cut it. I mean, the i7 7700K doesn't really cut it for streaming, so that definitely wouldn't cut it for streaming.
Wait a minute, because I have a i7 6700K, and I've streamed with that no problem.
Oh yeah, it can stream, but it'll drop frames. It will drop frames.
Yeah, but I had no problem with my frames or anything.
But that's an i7 though, right? So I mean, I don't
so the i7's
a little more.
The i7's a little more than the i5. You know, it's like a little more beefy of a CPU, I guess you could say.
Yep.
So, I mean, I would still recommend Ryzen. It's mainly a streaming editing rig that you want, isn't it?
But
so,
low-end Ryzen, Stonesy?
The Ryzen 5 1400 isn't going to be...
No, not the 1400.
That's why I would say the 1600, the 6-core 12-thread, at least.
Well, the 1600, the 1600X or 1600 would be the way to go.
That would be perfect, yeah.
That'd be the best thing for streaming.
The thing is, though, is the pre-built that he has at... the pre-builds that they have at GameStop they have a Ryzen 5 1400. They don't have any Ryzen 5 1600s.
Wow.
Oh, that's
see, so that's what I'm saying. Like low-end Ryzen or the i5?
At that point, what does it matter? They're both 4-core or 8-thread, and they're both about. I mean, what the 6700 is like? What?
At that point, optimization would matter.
At that point, I would probably say the i5 then.
Because there's more optimization.
Well, single thread performance is still better.
Optimization's gonna come anyway as updates and BIOS and microcodes come out for the platform. So that's gonna come anyway. Optimization. So it doesn't matter. It's just a waiting game, really. But the reason I would say the i5 is for 2 reasons. One, the IPC is higher than non-Ryzen's for those, and 2 is that they can overclock much better. The Kaby Lake CPUs overclock pretty well. Like generally on i7 7700K, you can get it to 5 gigahertz. So you could probably get that to like 4.5, 4.7, something like that, pretty easily with a decent cooler on it. How much RAM is it as well?
Let me go back to my
8 gigs.
I imagine it's
8 gigs. I mean,
it's gonna be 8 gigs on every one of them. So I mean, you can add another 8 gigs
but
easy.
You can chuck another 8 gigs in there. I mean, I mean, 8 gigs will do you for gaming, and it'll do you for like some basic streaming and editing, stuff like that.
Light streaming, not like 1,000 things on your screen at once. Just your game and your camera and an overlay.
Yeah, that should do. But I would recommend going for more RAM further down the line
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
it'll
We were
help
gonna.
speed
I was
up
gonna
encoding and that.
I was gonna get him to do more RAM on no matter which PC we pick for him, but
Mhm.
I would like.
It was a
I
little
mean,
shy,
ideally,
The three that he
32.
sent, the Ryzen's going to perform, or excuse me, the i7, their i5 is going to perform better on. I'm looking at the comparisons right now between the i5 7600K and the Ryzen
Mhm.
1400.
Well, I
and
mean, is he?
The score is
he-
123 for the 7600K and 74 for the Ryzen.
Yeah, but that is
Yeah, but
No, I'm just saying
1400.
that's the score, huh?
Well,
that's
I
the
mean,
1400
you also.
though.
Yeah,
you
that's
also
the
have
one
to,
that's the one that's in that thing.
No, 1500, isn't it?
No, it's the Ryzen 5 1400.
Oh, it's 1400. Sorry.
Well, you also
Yeah.
have to remember. Is he going to be able to get the 6-core 12-thread Ryzen like later down the line? Because if he is, he might be better going off the Ryzen now because they all use the same socket AM4.
Yeah,
So
he'll
you
have
can
the board already.
you've already got the board in the PC, so you could literally go from that Ryzen 5 to like a Ryzen 5 1600X or a Ryzen
Right,
7 or
but-
something.
Right. That's another thing that I was looking
is
at, but then
another
that would be
Mhm.
that's more
So it
out of
gives you
pocket
more
expense.
upgrades. Yeah,
It
but, I
does
mean,
give
gives
him
you-
it does give him more upgrades, but the thing is, those 1151 socket will allow
Well, the
him to go to-
1151, the highest you could go is the 7700K, which again, 4-core 8-thread, and while it overclocks really well, it's a really, really good gaming CPU. But like I say, for streaming and editing, it's
Well, yeah, in
not
comparison-
going to
in
be as
comparison
good
to
as
the
like
high-
a 6-core 12-thread.
Well, yeah, it's definitely not going to be as good as that for the streaming, but
Mhm.
like it would be less out of pocket now for him to be able to start streaming.
Well, I mean,
than
like I say, the
to-
two options that he has are the i5 or the Ryzen,
Well-
1400.
We didn't even go over one aspect. Is he going to be
Mm-hmm.
streaming PC games, or is he got a capture card to stream console games? Because that matters.
He's gonna
Yeah, that's
cap-
true.
he's gonna
Yeah,
capture-
that
he's
does
gonna-
matter.
Okay, he's going to capture card console games and stream those.
Then
most
he's good.
generally.
Then
Yeah,
alright, then
any of
fair
them will do.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, is he still in here? Because he's quiet.
No, I'm muted. I'm letting y'all talk. Y'all
Okay,
know what you're talking
okay.
about.
Okay.
Alright.
He's just
Well,
letting
then-
the info wash over him.
Okay. So Frozen. What I think I would suggest, because this was what I was what I was telling you in the when I was replying back to you about getting the Ryzen 5 1600. Is that if you went I guess since you're going to be streaming the capture card material, right?
Correct.
Okay, since you're going to be doing that, go with the Ryzen 5 system. And then at any point in time, if you ever want to step up your game into even streaming PC things, you can simply swap out the Ryzen chip with the 1600 or 1600X
Or the
Or-
1700
or
or
the
1800.
or the 17,
yeah.
or
Whatever you
any
like.
of them actually.
Yeah,
but
because
just-
they use the same
I mean,
socket.
But you can basically spend basically $200 and pop in a 1600X, a little over $200. But
You don't even need to spend the full $200 because
No,
you could
but I
just
mean, you
take
could-
the CPU
you could-
you've got and sell it.
and sell
then
it,
put
yeah.
that to it.
right, I was just
And
telling
all
him
the
price-
Ryzen
this
boards
is
are
the-
DDR4 and all that, so you're already set with the latest everything.
I was
All
just
you
telling
need
him-
to do is, yeah.
I was trying to tell him the worst case scenario as far as the upgrade price. Obviously, because there's no way to determine how much he's going to get out of each CPU.
Well, so I'll say this right here, because I'm someone that does the same thing with my PC. With Ryzen, these guys are saying, it's going to cost you less to upgrade versus if you were to go the i5 route and get the highest end streaming that you could possibly do for that capture card. But the thing is, if you ever wanted to go to Ryzen later, because
You'd have to get
It's
a
gonna
whole
cost-
new
it's gonna
a
cost
whole
it,
new
yeah.
motherboard, a whole new
whole
Yes.
new CPU.
And that's the reason why that I wanted him to get the 60,
Yeah.
if I could get him to get the 1600, because then he's already set exactly where he needs to be
If
with
he
the
can get
Ryzen,
the- if
because
he-
the Ryzen
yeah,
is
if
the
he-
way to go.
if he could select one that's a 1600, I'd say go for it.
That would be
fuck
great.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I mean, any
here's the
Ryzen
thing,
would be
though.
good.
The i5 7600K is 4-core 4-threads.
4-core 8-thread.
No, four. It
Cycle
says right
thread.
here on the US user benchmark, it's 4-core 4-threads, and the Ryzen 5 1400 is 4-core 8-thread.
But
That's which i5 is it? It's
Intel
this
has
Kaby Lake one, isn't it?
multi-threading though. Intel has multi-threading.
hyper-threading,
and
multi-threading.
it's really weird because multi-threading doesn't technically count as extra threads, but the CPUs can handle extra threads. So you can run 8 threads simultaneously on that 7600, but it's not technically an 8-core chip. Whereas Ryzen is technically an 8-core chip, but oh man, that's so
it gets
deep
confusing.
Into the architecture. It really doesn't matter. They're both kinda 8-core chips.
They're both 4-core 8 thread.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
For lack of better terms or whatever.
But yeah, like I say, X99, if I remember correctly, is socket 2011 or 2011-3 is X99. Whereas socket 1151 is like Skylake, Kaby Lake, Devil's Canyon. So,
it is the Devil's
Devil's Canyon.
Pretty much.
Much. But like I say, my recommendation would be the Ryzen build.
I love my 6700K though.
My recommendation would be the Ryzen build either way because you can always it gives you more room for upgrading.
That's where I wanted him with the Ryzen because his thing is streaming.
The Ryzen is built for that. Even at a 1400, he's going to have a decent streaming PC.
If streaming is your key thing, then Ryzen's definitely the way to go for sure, no matter which way you look at it.
Oh yeah.
So Frozen, you're going to be, and plus, like, see, the price of that. Let me check out the price that is on that Ryzen system. Because that was actually like the cheaper one, which was actually even better for you, because then you could have a little bit more money left over.
What's the voltage of the power supply?
Let me see if I can.
It shouldn't matter too much.
These things are all ran together.
Yeah.
It comes with a 450 watt.
Oof. Well,
that should be
fine. Plenty for that, but if you upgrade, you'll probably want to get a better one.
Yeah, but that's not going to be that hard to upgrade.
Right.
That's pretty.
And their power supplies are cheap. EVGAs are top notch, and they're dirt cheap.
That's why I was looking for like a way to where he would, if he could actually keep the same PC and then just upgrade parts in it, rather than having to upgrade everything, basically.
Yeah, rather than have to chuck the whole thing apart and get a brand new one.
Power supplies are hella cheap. I got a 1000-watt platinum EVGA for under $100.
Yeah, and that's something that you don't really need right now. But if you ever decide like to add things later, or to like to start,
or if you go in SLI,
CPU, or to go SLI or anything like that, you'll want to do like the increased power supply. Because like that, you can always come to talk to me whenever you get ready to do something like that.
Or if you want to do like water cooling as well.
Yeah. If you want to. I would definitely go with your Ryzen 5 1400 system because you're going to be good there with the streaming, the capture card. You can always upgrade to the 1600 or even higher very easily and cheap, and you're good with like any GPU that you want.
Yep.
You're going to be good on that one. $669.99, $473 of that's coming off in credit.
Wow.
So basically, he's going to walk out of that with
like a steal.
It's like a $200 system.
That's a hell of a steal.
Yeah, that's a fucking good deal.
Just for that motherboard and CPU and RAM, that's a good deal.
If I knew, if I wasn't tired that day, I would have finessed GameStop some more and probably got up to like 1,000 doing that.
Yeah, I ended up with, whenever I did my GameStop deal, it got me an Xbox One S, a PS3, a PS3 game, and then also have enough left to get the Xbox One X paid off.
Yeah, some people said they got about $2,000 out of doing that.
Jesus.
Yep. Yeah, the next day though, they caught on real quick because you had to get it done by July 3rd, because on the 4th they had caught on and they lowered all their trade-in prices.
Right.
They completely tanked the system, like to where you were basically going to walk out in a wash every single time.
That's pretty fun.
Because I tried on the 4th. Yeah, I tried on the 4th because I went back. I thought, well, shit, I'm going to do another day of this because I'm going to get fucking rich off this shit. I'll never have to worry about buying another game for a while. And the next day, I walked into GameStop, did the buy. I bought the games that I needed to buy. I went to the next GameStop to trade them back in, and it was basically a wash. And I was like, oh no. So I looked at the system. I'll be damned, like all the 3250 trading games were down to like 1250.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh yeah, I was like, time to quit. Time to
walk away. Players. I
checked on the app. That's when they changed the. I was checking the app to see if they changed. I heard employees did get fired. Not around my area, but I did hear that employees were getting fired.
Oh, I can
That's not
imagine
their
some
fault,
major abuse going on. Like,
Well, they did say they did want to know. They wanted to know why a lot of people were trading in Plants vs. Zombies and Need for Speed because they had piles of them back there. Like I seen a stack.
It was
I really
it was
like this
fucking
game. Let's buy it
hilarious.
like 30 times and trade it in 30 times. Fuck it.
It was hilarious, man. Like they were offering so much freaking money for games that came out in 2014. It was unreal. Like that, it was priceless to.
I don't know
take
how it is
advantage
over.
of
I don't know how it is over there, but fucking Nintendo games, those things like hardly ever go down in price ever.
Right.
Like over here.
No, and
over here,
they very
Nintendo games
they very
hardly
seldom have two specials going on at the same time that you can work in your favor. So whenever they did, I was like, "Yep, it's time."
Well, they rip people off every day, so it's only.
Oh yeah,
fair.
I have no qualms about ripping them off. It did not make me feel one way at all. It actually just made me feel good.
Made me feel some kind of way.
All right, I'm gonna head off now. I've helped you with that stuff.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Have a good one.
No worries. Talk
Later,
to you later.
Stonesy.
Rambo, what's the
Dropping by,
difference
man.
with that other?
Do what, dude?
Rambo, what's the difference with that other PC? Why is it the same price?
The AMD FX 6350.
The other one I
So
sent
there's-
you. No, the other one it's 749. The i5 6600K.
Okay, let me see.
I really don't know why they would price that in the same.
It's the same price as the one you were talking about with the Ryzen.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
The 76. Wait, 66. Wait, i5 6600K is priced $40 cheaper, just only $40 cheaper than the i5 7600K.
That's fucking dumb.
No,
That makes no sense.
I'll send you a screenshot because I got it right here.
Yeah, I have it right. I'm looking at. Which one are you talking about that I was talking about?
The other one. The i5 6600K 3.5 and it's 749, same price as the Ryzen 749.
The Ryzen you like the one you sent me with the Ryzen 5 1400, which like the screenshot you sent me was $669.99.
Hold on. You didn't get the other. Hold on. I'm looking at the wrong one then.
No, I
Did
didn't.
you get the other one? Did you get the other one I sent you?
I only got one Ryzen system.
Well, I got another one here. It's a Ryzen 5 1400 for 749.
Okay, send that one to me because it might be a better GPU. That might be what the difference is.
Let me just send you the website on here because I'm actually on my computer.
Okay,
So what's up, Pete?
because that
How's
might.
it
I mean,
going?
my
Chilling,
my
how
thought
about
is it's
you?
probably going to be a better GPU.
Just talking over Rambo as he's trying to talk to Magma.
Of course, you got to.
Hey, you know what? Why the fuck not? So
Yeah, you know.
So
They're gonna talk about boring shit, and we'll just carry on.
Okay, so
pretty much.
this one's a Ryzen 5 1400. It's got obviously the 1400. Now I'm looking at trying to figure out the RAM for it to see maybe if it's got. Oh, so it still only has 8 gigabytes of RAM. Wow, and what is an Radeon RX 470?
That's pretty good.
That's actually probably better than 750
That's way
That's
better.
right.
or 730. Excuse me. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be the difference.
So you're sacrificing a little bit of CPU power, which I actually don't even think it's much.
Well, no, they're both the Ryzen 5 1400.
Oh, okay.
The
Then
one
yeah,
for
I get the one with the
669
460.
Yeah, the 470. Yes.
70, yeah. That's a damn
Yeah, I
good
would
card.
go-
There's a lot of people running those right now.
I would go with that one. I never got that, saw that one when it came through. But that one's going to be your better GPU, and it's going to give you, that way you don't even have to worry about upgrading your GPU for a while. I mean,
That's right, Stonesy. It's got the teraflops. What are teraflops? I don't know,
we're all
but it's
about
got
the
6 of them.
teraflops. Yeah, the other one, the 730, only had 2 teraflops, I think, or something like that.
Pathetic.
Or 2 gigs of GDDR5. Sorry. So yes, but the 470 basically is essentially, like you said, essentially the Xbox One X. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
I'm here.
Okay. No, I was. That's the one that I would go with. I didn't see that one in the very beginning.
Oh my bad. I thought I sent it to you.
But that would be the one I would definitely go with, because the 470 is basically going to put you on the Xbox One X level.
That's a much better card for the same price. Yeah, and it probably comes down to AMD's price for performance. They always get better than Nvidia or Intel.
And if you look at like your video rendering to, like when you're using your rendering software and rendering it with a 470, it's going to be a lot faster than rendering it with a 730.
Yeah, even OBS has some really nice add-ons for AMD cards where you can direct the rendering to the GPU, and man, does it speed it up. It is retarded quick.
Isn't it really odd that for that, like AMD and, you know, since OBS is freeware and AMD basically is freeware, then they kind of work together like really well?
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's strange how that works.
And I know they have the thing for Nvidia too, but I've never tested it, so I don't know how it works. But yeah,
it does.
When I did it on my
well,
290X, it was incredible.
It does work really well, but I think that it works a lot better with the AMD.
I think Shadowplay works better because it's in-house.
Shadowplay, you can't really beat Shadowplay. I've yet to figure out anything that beats Shadowplay.
Then, little man, let me introduce you to Relive.
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah,
Shut up, Mame-chan. I want pancakes. What the fuck, man?
Hey,
he's in Canada.
Now he's just torturing us.
Yo, to all
I don't care how good they are.
To those of you that sit here and watch our asses all the fucking time, can you please retweet us on Twitter? Make sure you blow up Rambo's fucking Twitter, tell him that he likes the dicks, and especially with spiders on them.
Say I send him spiders.
Stonesy, I just think that I just think Shadowplay is better than Relive. I know they have the same.
No, yeah, Relive blows.
To me, I just think that Shadowplay runs better or smoother than Relive.
We'll be back.
OBS is really good with AMD stuff, but yeah, Relive is not that great.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not as good as the Shadowplay. I mean, it is basically the exact same thing.
Bunch of monsters.
Definitely not going to knock it. I mean, it's definitely good for what it does, but it's just not. I don't think it's on the same quality as Shadowplay. And what Shadowplay can do with the newer cards is pretty damn awesome. Like those, what was like 12K pictures or like what those outrageous screenshots or whatever.
I don't.
It's freaking insane.
JC, if you're not having good luck with Relive, try OBS. It's really not the new one, OBS Studio. It's really not hard. You can even stream and record at the same time, and it's like there's no setup almost at all.
Yes, OBS Studio works really well, and it'll definitely still. I don't think you lose that much. To me, I've never really noticed that you lose quality with the recording and streaming at the same time.
You can, but it's usually a function of the options that it gives. Because if you choose to, and you turn on the advanced options in the encoding section, I mean, you can do all sorts of shit. You can enable OpenCL. You can tweak with the H.264 settings. You can do a lot of stuff that can actually help. But in the other hand, if you mess up like oh man, I can't remember what they are, but there's options for like resizing and stuff like that. But if you tweak them too much, you can mess them up. So I think that's usually what people run into with OBS, is they play with things they probably shouldn't.
I don't fuck with the things I don't understand.
How do you record good video quality with OBS? I've tried every setting out there known to man, and the shit just sucks.
Are you using Studio or the old one?
Studio.
I'd have to see what.
You should be getting good quality.
Yeah, because the biggest problem with the biggest problem I remember with recording with regular OBS was that, yeah, man, what was it? There was a certain thing where if you were recording and had a setting checked or something, and you couldn't, there was something weird with the recording where it had to have a certain option checked, and when that option is checked, it made everything really fuzzy. And they supposedly, as far as I know, they fixed that with Studio. but I don't know.
I'll have to fuss around with it tonight and see what the hell you.
Yeah,
guys are talking
AVC
about.
Dark Phoenix. That's the add-on for the AMD specific encoding shit, and it's fantastic.
There is something cool with consoles we can talk about.
Oh yeah,
is
like
that?
what, Scrub?
You're
like
lying.
Spotify came to the Xbox One, Scrub.
Woo! Yeah, baby.
Y'all, we found the PlayStation Legion.
No
Yeah.
one needs to hear from the peanut gallery. Shut up, Rambo.
We lost our exclusive. Oh no.
I mean, you did tote that as an exclusive for the longest time, sir.
Well, it was exclusive. Like they paid for the exclusivity for. Oh, what was funny is that somebody goes, "Well, it was still on PC," and it was like, "No, they just paid to keep it off of Xbox One." That was like the thing is like they just said, "Look, you can put it on anything else you want, just not that son of a bitch." All right.
Okay, well, today Spotify, tomorrow Uncharted.
You got some big hopes. Well,
You
I
can,
at
you can
least.
dream, man. You can dream.
Well, hey, hey, Brim. At least if that ever, I mean, not Brim, Shane. At least if that ever happens, you can at least then say have somebody making games for the Xbox One.
Oh!
Rambo, you're an asshole, and I don't think we should be friends anymore.
Hey, you know what though? At least we'll be actually getting 4K. I mean,
I need.
Oh.
Will you though?
I don't know. I'm just talking shit. I really don't know.
Killing Floor 2 can't even run in 4K yet on the Xbox One X.
Don't you know we have the power of the cloud, Rambo?
And your favorite
Yeah.
Neo Geo games in the store. What now?
Yes. I don't know what to do without the Neo Geo games.
I got Double Dragon.
Damn. Like I haven't played Neo Geo in quite a while.
And Metal
Oh my
Slug.
God.
What now?
Oh no, Stonesy, I'll never join that fucking crowd. And I even like called out Dobby Potter today and he's like, You're creeping my Twitter, and I'm like, dude, you made a post on a public fucking forum. I didn't creep shit. Like you can't.
I heard he got
make a
kidnapped.
post-
Was that true?
Dobby?
Yeah, I heard he got kidnapped.
Oh, I doubt it. Like that
That'd be
motherfucker.
hilarious.
He just makes shit up. He's an idiot, man. Like
what would somebody
he purposely-
kidnap him for?
Yeah, they'd return him. They'd be like, "Here, shit, dude,
Take
can't
him
stand
back.
this dude."
We'll pay you.
But he listed off. He's like all the PlayStation exclusives this year and all the Xbox exclusives this year, and he listed off games that were like he only had like 4 games on the Xbox list. But people were like, "What about Voodoo Vince and what about Super Lucky Tales and what about?" And he's like, "Oh, nobody's gonna give a shit about those games." So you just fucking. I was like, "Dude, you can't just make a list." And then arbitrarily go, okay, well, I'm not adding that one because ain't nobody gonna give a shit about
Yeah,
it. But I'm
these
adding
ones-
I don't
every
matter,
game.
Vince.
I'm adding every game on the PlayStation side because everybody cares about those. I mean, come on, man! Like you're stupid.
24 indies on the PlayStation, but they don't
Yeah.
count on Xbox. Yeah, okay, all right.
Because nobody cares about that shit.
No.
And I'm like, I called him out. And I was like, because I mean, first of all, who's not going to count like Voodoo Vince and like Super Lucky Tales? Those are. I mean, if you're going to count Knack 2, you have to count those other ones.
Quality doesn't really mean much. Just pumping out lists.
No, well, I mean, it's okay. Like I said, it's always okay to make a list. Like if people are saying, Xbox has no games or PlayStation has no games or whatever, it's always good to it's always okay to make a list with include, but you have to include
Everything.
every
Yeah,
game, everything on both sides. You
If
can't
you're-
just arbitrarily leave shit out.
exactly. If you're gonna be selective in one of those lists, you got to be equally selective in both of those lists.
Regardless
Yes.
of your taste, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, and that's the
and
thing.
that's
If you're just going by numbers, okay, fine. But then you can't count quality. Don't try and tell me, oh, well, this game's just some stupid little flash thing, so it doesn't
Exactly.
count. Well, no, you said these are all the games that exist only on PlayStation. So these are all the games that exist solely on Xbox. That's
Exactly,
an
and that was my
equal
point. Is like,
comparison.
I was like, you can't make a comparison and then leave shit out. I was like, that's not the way that comparisons work.
Dare I
Like,
say you must be objective?
Oh, God.
Ram Tech TV. That's a good one, Stoney.
I ducked on that one, man. I was like the shit put me like I could hear the bombs dropping in the background. And,
We're combining JTech
it was
TV
so
and Rambo.
easy. You put it right next to the hoop, and I just went right in for the layup. It was all right.
Oh, Stonesy, if I actually changed my channel name to Rambo Tech TV, like
That'd be hilarious.
he would fucking
J-Tech's
flip
Corner.
his
I like
fucking
that
shit.
one.
He would flag you.
Yeah, he would.
I'm sure he would.
Actually,
Yeah.
actually, he would not flag.
Corner, is that what you said?
Copyright
Jay's Tech
violation.
Corner.
Well, actually, he would
Ramtech-
not flag you. The whole supporters would flag you because that's what they do.
Yeah, their support, his blind supporters, like just they're worse than the fucking SJW crowd.
Yeah.
No, I'm never joining this PlayStation Legion.
Bro, let's join the
In
Legion.
fact-
Let's sign up, man. Come on, let's sign up.
In fact, wait a minute, Stonesy, wait a minute.
What? Why are you?
Wait, Stonesy's over here talking about me and J-Tech, but let's talk about how he behaves like J-Tech. Because I saw today, because I can beat J-Tech in trophies, but you know what J-Tech always did? He always brings in somebody else's that's in the Legion's trophies that has like 200 some platinums or 600 platinums, and says like, now beat that one. So he uses somebody else's success to measure his own. And
I'm
he,
buying
and,
Rambo
and,
a shirt.
and Stonesy said to go get your channel's irrelevant and your views suck and everything like that. But you look at Stonesy's channel and nobody even knows who the fuck Stonesy is. But then Stonesy was like, yeah, but what about Fratanga and all that? So you're using somebody else's success for to combat go get.
Rambo, I got a question.
Yeah.
So Rambo, I'm gonna ask the question that Stonesy put. Would it be objective flagging or subjective flagging if you were to flag?
Ah.
Well,
Rambo, I
it would
got
be
a question.
subjective.
Are you
What if
sure?
Rambo, what if Sony decided, hey, we're taking off all the trophies you earned are gone? What would it mean then? If they flat out came out and said we're not doing this anymore?
What would they do? That would kill me, man.
Well, like
I
all
would
these
still play
guys,
the game.
that
I
got
would
like
still play the-
300 platinums. Like how bad you
Yo,
think they are?
I can predict exactly what would happen.
Let's put it this way: if Microsoft still had the achievement system, and PlayStation decided, you know what, we're fucking getting rid of trophies, I would jump over to solely playing on the Xbox.
That's what I was just gonna say. I was gonna be like, yo, this guy's gonna sell his collection to anybody online, his email account, so he can get his money back on his collection, sell his console, and then buy out Microsoft in shares.
I would. I would leave PlayStation. That's one of the reasons why I really disliked playing on Steam a lot. Is sure they have an achievement system, but it's nothing to the level of the trophy and achievement system on Xbox.
Yeah.
And so that was a really big thing to me. That's one of the reasons why I will not play on a Nintendo system. Because
they don't have anything, do they?
No, I won't play. I won't play
game.
Nintendo system at all.
Wow.
That's a game, though.
I don't give a shit about them.
But is it a
Like,
game?
The only reason that you could get me to play a Nintendo game would be for some like achievements or trophies. I don't give a shit about any of their games at all. Like their games do not interest me in the least.
Rambo likes
You don't
some
wanna-
trophies, confirmed.
But you like Rudy Vince and you don't like Mario?
It's not that I don't like Mario. It's that I'm 41 years old and I've played Mario 4,000 fucking times. I can only see the name Mario and it just gets
He has
old
saved the
after
princess.
a while.
Confirmed.
There's no longer in another castle.
You know what's fucked up, man? And you still don't get to tap Princess Peach. What's up with that shit?
Right?
What the fuck?
Yeah, at this point, I'm thinking Mario would say, you know what, fuck you, princess. You're the dumb bitch that keeps getting taken.
Save yourself damn self, cunt.
Rambo didn't tell you his favorite part about Nintendo, though, which is the voice acting. He absolutely loves it.
Oh God, there's no fucking voices. Like nobody fucking talks. None of their characters talk.
Hey, listen.
There's no explanation. That's you, man. That's you. You're the character.
Oh yeah, nah, no, cause
Yeah, but other characters don't talk either.
who?
Yo, Nintendo characters' lives matter.
NLM.
Master Chief talk.
No, but the other characters do.
What if you got 100 plats if you join the Legion? Would you then, Rambo?
Would I join the Legion if I got 100 plats? No.
You should join the Legion. You should join the Legion and then challenge him for ownership and then disband the Legion.
Oh, that would be fucking awesome. Now that I could get behind. But
no, Rambo's like, I could do this shit overnight, sucker. I got you beat.
I would just disband the whole fucking thing. Like, no more Legion at all, man. Fuck them. Like, they're the laughing stock of the fucking gaming community. Like to me, I could probably hang out in a party chat with Crap Gamer, Mooch, and all them faster than I could hang out with a party chat with the PlayStation Legion.
God damn, that's
lowering your standards, bro. Like,
those are
at least those guys are kind of entertaining, you know. Like they're kind of entertaining at least.
Yes, I mean, at least they bring some character to their shit. Like, I'm not saying they're like right or anything worthwhile.
It is
but
funny
at least they have some sort of character. They have some characteristics to themselves. The PlayStation Legion is like, it's like going to get a colonoscopy with no medication to put you under.
Damn.
So what he's saying is it's basically a weekend with Gamer Dragon. For those of you that don't know, he's gay.
Oh God, yeah, basically yes. I mean, the Legion to me is just a fucking cancer, man. And I can't stand Xbots and did you see what they're doing to Cliffy B now?
Yeah, they're fucking idiots, dude.
They're like happy. No, they are like praising the fact that it failed on the PC numbers are tanking. They're actually happy. They're actually tweeting at him saying, "Haha, your game is failing. I hope it fails on PlayStation 2. You should have went with Xbox."
That's horrible.
That's some sociopathic shit.
Yo, you know what's crazy is he actually bit back today, and I said, you know what? I agree with this guy. Like, I'm fucking happy that he's saying fuck you to these guys, dude. Oh
no, whenever he bit back, Tim Dog copied the bite back, and then the other guy thing and above him.
Yeah, he tried
and
to
that's all. That's all he screenshot. And I was like, look, you got to get the whole fucking conversation. So I went and screenshot the whole conversation. I was like, the only thing he was doing is basically biting back, because this guy started acting like a spoiled fucking child. And was calling him all kinds of names, and his team, and one of Cliffy B's team members.
I look at it this way: if you're gonna ask a fucking man-child over the internet, you deserve to get your fucking ass spanked.
Fair enough.
Exactly, and Tim Dog was like, "Well, no, he's just a passionate Xbox fan and just wants the game on Xbox." I was like, "Bullshit."
Yeah,
so that motherfucker ain't even.
I saw that shit. He was trying to soft blow that shit. I'm like, motherfucker,
yeah.
That's not how this works.
Like, no, like that dude was acting like a fucking ass, and he got treated like a fucking ass, and you can't be shaming him for that.
And he was like, oh yeah, well he gets what was it, like he was saying the guy himself gets fucking harassed for gaming on Xbox.
Yeah, no, he's saying well, if Major Nelson said that, everybody would be shitting bricks, and was like, well, yeah, we would, because he's the head of a fucking tech company. I was like, but it's not the same as being the lead indie developer.
Again, I would congratulate him and say, thank you, sir. Do it again. Give me more, daddy. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be right back.
but I would expect that behavior to come from like Microsoft and Sony. If they did it equally to all the fanboys, I would be celebrating. I'd be like, yes, I'm following you now, because yes. But yeah, like Tim Dog was like the way they're actually happy that the game is failing. It proves to me that you're not a gamer. No gamer is going to be happy that a game is tanking unless the game itself or the game developer did something. Yeah, the game developer deserves for it to tank, but not simply for not bringing it to a certain platform.
Like No Man's Sky.
And They found out that what's it called? That they found a tweet from Cliffy B back in 2016, where you know what he put inside the game Lawbreakers. He decided, well, you know what? We need gender-neutral bathrooms.
Wow.
So I quote tweeted Cliffy B on that. I was like, yeah, let's pander to the 0.03% of the population that probably has no interest in your game, just so you can look good and look good, socially. I was like that. Like that's stupid to pander to these people.
I don't think these developers like should pander to anybody. I think some feedback should be, fucking thought about, but like not to this degree. Not to this degree where they're getting harassed online, and then when they actually speak up against these fucking people, they're like, "Oh my God, he said the F word at me, guys." I'm like, "Dude, you were just threatening this guy's family. Shut the fuck up." Fuck.
Yeah, it's like going like, dude, like you had that shit coming. You can't speak to people however you want and then complain whenever they bite back. And
right.
And yes, Laser Lawbreakers is doing bad on PC. Actually, have worse than what Born did.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not doing good on PC at all. But I really think that it's because there's too many fucking hero shooters. PC. And it just, I mean, I know it plays differently than, like, say, Overwatch or whatever, but there's just so many games out there.
Yeah.
Every single area. Like, it's hard to bring out another shooter to anybody because Overwatch is going to overshadow every single one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, fucking Overwatch is popular. Fucking Paladins is popular. I mean, I was expecting this game not to be fucking well received. In fact, I'm sure Cliffy B was thinking that shit too. He was going for a niche community. He wasn't going for this multi-billion-dollar fucking conglomerate.
I think it's well on PS4 because, like, the consoles don't have the same level, the same amount of heroes like this. Consoles, I just don't.
You are roboting up.
Where?
Yeah, you're cutting in and out, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I think that the PC platform, I think, is just with shooters, and I think that's the reason why it's probably doing poorly there. But
cutting out again. Are we live? Are we still here?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I'm here.
All right. Yeah, you're cutting out again.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes y'all are.
You're on a tablet, so I wonder if it's getting hot. I wonder if that's what it is. I wonder if it's just because it's fucking probably like warming up, so your CPU's probably like fucking crying right now.
I don't know, because I have no idea.
It's like you're doing fine and then it cuts you out. You're doing fine and then it cuts you out. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we missed like half of everything.
Wait, okay. Am I getting any better?
That's a little better.
Yeah.
The tablet's connected to the Wi-Fi, so I'm thinking what happens is that on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Because now I'm getting closer, and you're saying that you can hear me better, so that's what I'm.
Yeah.
Let me get closer to the Wi-Fi, and then that way I won't have that problem.
This, boys and girls, is why you do not game on Wi-Fi.
And secondly, please
The
give
more
us,
you know.
And secondly, please retweet this fucking podcast. There's 9 of you. I want to see 9 retweets. And if you do, I promise I will send you nude pictures of Shaner in his glory. 'Cause I do hang out with him, so every now and then I get to, sneak some pictures in.
Of Shaner with a hog.
Right?
There you go.
Yo, Frozen Magma, man. So, tell us, what's your channel about? Do you have a channel on here yet or no?
Yeah, I got a channel. I'm a channel. I'm really a nobody. I just do videos.
Oh, you're not a nobody, man.
What kind of
I'm
videos
a nobody,
do you?
man.
What kind of videos do you do, bro? Commentary?
I do like commentary, streams, topic videos.
Oh, okay. Anything particular that you like to cover, or do you just cover everything on a broad spectrum?
I cover a lot of Nintendo. Hopefully they don't flag me one day, but I'm not big enough for that. So.
Yo, see,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, you dude, like, the thing is, the commentary channels will blow up, dude. You'll actually,
I don't cover Xbox. That's one thing I don't cover because I see a lot of people that get upset.
I see how it is, bro. I see how it is.
Well, no, I mean, it's the one thing when you cover Xbox, it's either you have to cover it very positively, like everything's positive, or else you just get nothing but shit, like everywhere.
Hey, so this could be a good topic to start with. And Jay Caesar, like I'm right there with you, dude. Like it's fucking insane. I've been getting added by bots lately on the Xbox, and he is also saying he's getting added by a lot of PlayStation bots. So what?
You ever get the messages about asking where you live?
Yep.
I haven't got them yet, but I've got like my watch list. Excuse me. You know, like on Xbox, it has like where you can follow people because like basically if they send you a friend request and you don't accept, they just become a follower. My follower count has jumped like by like 200 on Xbox because I won't add these bots as friends because like
I every time.
I have tons of fucking friend requests from these bots. I haven't got any on PlayStation yet, but I have seen like the bots are also infesting PlayStation. But from what I can gather, obviously this is not no scientific data, but I run a Xbox group and I run a like all gamer group on Facebook, and they're pretty good size, like 30,000 and 20,000.
Yeah.
And then I'm also in PlayStation groups as well, but the Xbox group was getting inundated with people posting about these bots messaging them, and the PlayStation groups are getting like messages, but not to the same degree as we're getting posted in the Xbox group. And my thought is that they're really hitting the Xbox brand, the Xbox hard, and they're just hitting the PlayStation brand, or just starting up on the PlayStation brand. And probably going to be hitting those. Like people are going to start seeing an uptake in bot messages on PlayStation here soon.
Oh yeah, no doubt, dude.
I can tell you one good thing: the Switch ain't getting none of that problem.
Oh,
Not
Ain't
yet.
nobody wants to
Not yet, son.
Ain't nobody.
No,
wants
they
to
don't even
fuck
have
with the
messages.
Switch.
You can't send messages
Yo,
on the Switch.
Magma. Don't you have to first have people to buy your console?
Oh!
But
What are
hey,
you talking
wait a minute.
It sold 4 million in 4 months. I don't think any other.
Let's just take this. Let's just take this back. The Switch has actually been the #2 selling console for the past 4 months.
Has it
It'll
really?
be sold. It'll be sold more if they had them. If they had them in stock, it'd be way more.
It's been outselling Xbox every month since it came out, and the only month that actually beat PlayStation was the very first month when it first launched. But after that, they've been consecutively to second place each month in the sales.
It's because they don't have enough. They don't have enough They don't have enough in stock. They're fighting with that.
They're not gonna, and they're actually having even more problems with that because the company. I think from what it sounds like, the company that is making the screens is actually having financial troubles as well. So even though they're competing with Apple, the company itself is having problems with money. So it might look like that they're going to have to switch screen companies.
That'll be terrible.
Huh.
Yeah, it's definitely going to cut into their overall sales. Eventually.
I wonder how that's gonna impact like the SNES Mini and all that.
And Magma, I'm just fucking around, dude. We always pop shots at each other's shit here, dude. We're just joking around. I say shit.
I know, but I know you're gonna get one though. It's a good console. It's a good handheld. It's a good handheld. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna get one.
You're not gonna get one.
I seriously asked my kids. I was like, "Do you want a Switch?" And they were like, "No."
No.
They have my kids have no interest in Nintendo.
They don't have enough games.
So if they have a trophy system, you'll get it.
If they had a trophy system or an achievement system, I would buy it just for that.
They have plenty of games on there. We got 3 games this month. We got Sonic Mania. You got Mario Rabbids, and there's another game that's coming out. Forget what it is. It's got plenty of games.
Well, to tell you the truth, they've got more first-party games this year than what Xbox has.
Oh! We got that shade going now, Rambo.
I'm just gonna keep on throwing shade that way because
Hey, you know what though? At least we know we still have more active users, so it's good.
You got Spotify.
Wait a minute, Dark Phoenix, you don't get bots on your Steam account?
I don't get. You know what?
I don't either.
No, neither do I. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did for a while, like when I first signed up, I don't know what it was. I mean, I had those people like trying to like they would message me, or I don't know, they would do something like it would like it would pop up my little thing, and it was like bots, but it wasn't near as bad as they are on consoles. Like it would be like one every once in a while, but not to the point of like to where I would even like cause concern at all. Like it would just be like, oh, okay, whatever, ignore and move on.
Changed their terms of service. Couldn't use a whole bunch of features until you had spent like $5 on something. And so, I mean, that pretty much eliminated. I don't think I've ever once gotten a bot on Steam, but I certainly haven't ever since they changed that that policy.
Okay, that might have been when because I think I joined Steam like right before that change happened, and then I mean, yeah, I had plenty of like already spent like way over $5 before that thing changed, because
that's the most people do that
because
most people sign up when they buy a game on Steam. It's like, oh, okay, I want this game that's on Steam. Okay, and it was, you know, $10 to $30 or whatever. And I mean, that's plenty. So yeah, it really doesn't affect a whole lot of people.
And Brim, I noticed your friend, and you said that like you knew people that had more than like what I did as far as their worth.
Oh yeah.
Your one friend that I don't know if we're gonna name a name or anything, but you know who I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
The one that we've been talking about here lately, you know that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I saw his Steam account. My God.
He has a small fortune, my friend. A small fortune.
That motherfucker could buy like Kenya. Like he could buy a whole fucking he could buy a country by selling his Steam account.
Yo, he's not
He
kidding.
really could. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's like I've never seen a like I think it's worth like
their money's worth less than gold is on WoW anyway.
Let's put it this way. If he sold a Steam account, like he would easily like oust the president, everything in Venezuela, because he would be the richest man in that country ever.
Uh-huh.
That man, his Steam account is fucking huge.
I try to tell people, man, this guy, I mean, this guy could pay.
He's a gamer.
Oh yeah, he could do it. He could pay for our education for a few years, bro.
Yeah, he could.
Mhm.
Yeah, I forgot like what I can't even remember the amount, but it was like his Steam account was like worth like $157,000.
Mhm.
I mean, it was some ungodly number, and I'm thinking, I look at mine, I'm going, mine's only worth like 9,000. Like, what the hell? Like, I got a peasant account now.
Oh, you added on Steam, huh?
He posted it online or whatever, because he posted his in comparison to Rags, Top Hats, and all them. And he was basically saying that he's actually about that life, and like they're not, because of their Steam accounts. And his Steam account makes theirs look like they just like started gaming like today. Like, I was like, well, I'm not even comparing mine, because
spent $100K on Steam.
Well, no, like his number of hours his percentage of games that he's played were a lot lower than the others. But obviously, when you have $157,000 worth of games, you can't. It's harder to get through them than when you have $140 worth of games.
And that can't all be games, though. Does Steam even have that much worth of games?
Well, I don't know if he spent that much. That's his Steam calculator's worth.
Man, there's got to be some, because I know there's some software on Steam that'll sell for like a couple $100 or $1,000 or whatever.
It could be software too. I don't know.
He's got to have a few of those in there, because man, that would be so many games. Like most of Steam games aren't even like $5 or $10, right?
Well,
you know, it's like 10 to 1 cheap games to expensive games. Jesus.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he like I don't even know like the amount of games that he has. I think that the amount would have to be some ungodly number.
Think of how many like 99-cent sale games that would be.
Let me see if I can actually find the. I don't know, babe. I don't know where they are. Let me see if I can actually look up his thing and see how many. Because it was like whenever I saw it, I was like, there's just, what the hell? Like, there's just not. I don't think it's like actually possible to have this, but sure enough, yes, it is.
I wonder if he uses it as a collection.
He does.
Every piece of software on Steam. Fuck it. Buy it.
So the funny thing is he's also got another amount of this spent on his kid's fucking Steam account. So he's got his kid's Steam account, and then
You can't work out a family share.
Okay.
Dude, you can't call up Steam and be like, bruh, I spent 150 grand. Can we share this between 3 people? Come on, like they wouldn't do that.
Okay, he owns 5,782 games.
God.
And not to mention that, he also owns 2,073 pieces of DLC.
Oh, Jesus.
And now he compared it to like Bulletberry and everything else, but now like Bulletberry has 580, Top Hats has 205, Fringy has 202, and Rags has 192. So when they did the calculator, you know, the Steam calculator, it definitely showed his being worth like an ungodly amount of money. But then like he only completed he still had like 82% of games not completed. And where everybody else had more games completed, and I was like, well, yeah, but whenever you only own like 150 games, it's a lot easier to complete more of closer to 100% of those games than it is when you own 5,000 fucking games or 6,000. Like the chances of you getting through 6,000 games like in your lifetime is going to be very nil.
Nah, what are you talking about, bro? They could do this. This is easy.
Yeah, I guess if you didn't live or
Hold my
didn't
beer.
do anything,
Hold my beer.
I got this.
Yo,
you'll never.
I'm gonna need donations, so we'll crowdfund it. It'll be all right.
Did he by any chance have? He doesn't have the. They didn't do the life or the hours calculator to how long it would take to beat his library, did they?
How long would it take to complete it? They did the Steam DB calculator, and that's where I found that his thing was like $157,000 or whatever. But I didn't see how long it would take to complete his that part of the calculator, like how long it would take to complete.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look at. I'm gonna do Steam calculator, and we'll see what I can find on him. Okay, let's see. So, with him, I mean, I just it's so fucking insane that he has that much. Looking up his Steam library. Oh, okay, it wasn't 100 and some thousand. It was $57,760, and that's without the total current value of his account. The cost of his account with sales is $20,315. He's Steam level 32. And he has accrued 2,246 hours of gaming. And
That's it?
and only 5,197 games not played. 84% of his games are not played.
It's not a whole lot of hours.
Oh, okay, wait. I don't see where. Does it show anywhere, Brim, where you said how long it would take to complete that library?
I'm gonna have to Google it because I could have sworn there was a times played or a time played or an hour calculator.
It says products by time played, 12 or more hours, 29, less than 12 hours. It tells you like how many. He's played 673 games, less than an hour. But yeah, that's still. I mean, I don't know. Still, I think that he went on what I did on a buying spree, and. Once you've got that many games, when you look at your game list, and you just keep on scrolling for days, trying to find a game to play, it becomes less and less fun to play a game.
Huh?
Because you're just like, damn, I've got too many games. I don't know. You start getting, well, I want to play this game, and I want to play this game, and I want, you get to that point to where it's like kind of like a woman with a clothes closet that's full.
What a first world problem to have.
Yeah, she's like, I have nothing to wear but then her closet's like packed. It's because she's got so many clothes she can't decide what to wear. So when you have that many games, it's kind of like you can't decide what to game. Because I'm like that with my Steam account. Like when I go into my Steam, I'm like, it's just too. It's an overloaded. Like it doesn't let you separate them the way you, like the way you can like in PlayStation and Xbox, where you only see the games you have installed. Like where you go in there and you only see that. You see all the games, and then of course the highlighted, the ones that are like in white or whatever are installed, and the ones that are grayed out aren't. But you see them all in that list, and it's like overwhelming. And I can only imagine with close to
5,000. Jesus, yeah.
That's way overwhelming to figure out what to play.
All right, guys. Sorry, I'm back.
But yeah,
faggot, welcome back, sir.
Wait, Shaner, you were gone?
Yeah, there's a big fight out front between a guy and a girl, and I was just refereeing until the cops got there. So, yeah.
Didn't even notice.
Yeah, I tend to do that.
It's Rambo. He rambles.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I don't get to talk to many people, so now I get to talk to all of y'all. So then I save up all my energy for y'all.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's good. You know, I'm not gonna
Right.
judge you too harshly. You know, you're kind of gay, but it's fine.
Yeah,
No, I'm gonna. I
No,
found
they
this
weren't
site.
crazy crackheads, dude. They were just two people with a disagreement that don't know how to handle it.
What the
See, I
hell?
can't. I personally can't sit and watch a man and a woman fight. Like it just like it forces me, no matter how much it's going to. Like I'm going to get attacked by both sides to go down there and jump in.
Oh, I didn't watch. I was in between the two of them. So,
Oh, so yeah, you. Okay, yeah. So you know
So there was
like I can't.
there was a sandwich to be had, huh?
oh no, Brim
You
knows what
should've
I'm
had
talking
your-
about. The crazy toy lady was the lady.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like light a bitch on fire, crazy toy lady. That was the lady. So that's why I went to referee, because she seriously will light a bitch on fire.
You
I
need
mean-
to. You should have had like your wife film it or your kids or something, so that way.
She's at work and that lady's crazy. I don't want my kids to see that.
Come
That
on,
way we could have got
man.
that way we could have got a good YouTube video out of it, or VidMe exclusive.
Bro, this lady is so crazy. When you meet her, within the first 5 minutes, she tells you, I've been to prison. If I don't like you, I'll set your ass on fire. Because that's what she went to
Wow.
prison for. So,
Did you-
yeah.
Did you hear about the anti-Trumper that is going to actually got arrested not too long ago for killing his neighbor?
No, I didn't hear about that.
He's an anti-Trumper. He's like he has like homemade signs in his yard talking about anti-Trump. And I guess him and his neighbor had a disagreement, and he walked over there,
Thank you.
shot him once in the head in the doorway, and then stood over him while his wife was there and shot him in the head again.
It's pretty good.
Damn.
Because that's how you settle things.
Right?
Yeah, apparently he didn't really get the memo on how to like resolve conflict.
How to adult?
Oh, really?
Yeah, adultly resolve conflict.
It is difficult. I mean, I'll give him that, but come on. This is basic adulting. We're not even at advanced yet.
Yeah, not even. Yeah, I mean, like, come on, like, who
This is level 1 shit, bruh.
pulling out a gun over an argument, man? It just
Good, man.
and all those neighbors they were interviewing, they were like, we were all scared of him. We didn't
Am I
want to
gonna-
say anything to
I
the
guess
guy
I
because
am
we were
gonna-
like, he was that unhinged. I was like, dude, like, why didn't like somebody should have like instead of engaging with him, just call the police and just say you deal with it. Apparently, the police were out there earlier that day when they were having a dispute over, I guess somebody being in the backyard. Like the neighbor was in his own backyard, but the other neighbor, the crazy neighbor, didn't like it. So they called the police and they were out there to try to settle that dispute. And then like they had to come back out 6 hours later to find the guy dead in his doorway.
Now imagine if console fanboys and PC fanboys did that.
Well, I mean, there'd be
Give
a
it
lot less
time.
stupid.
Give it time.
There'd be a lot less stupid, I can tell you that. I mean, because
Why the world needs more gamers. Settle it on the internet, boys.
Gamers and stoners, they don't ever really kill anyone. They're
Right?
too busy. They're preoccupied. Either they got the munchies or they're balls deep in like Uncharted. So
Yeah. Gaming.
There was one
like,
time I heard of some kid who killed another kid, I don't know, like 17, 18, 19. But the one killed the other because of a dispute over an Xbox game that they were playing. And that's the one time I've heard of like a gamer
Yeah, it's
or
very
anybody
rare.
like that. Yeah. Never at, you know, you never see this at like fighting game tournaments or like, you know, Pokemon gatherings. Ain't nobody shooting each other over like, you know, Pokemon battles or anything.
Like, motherfucker, you beat me. Well, okay.
Kill my
No.
Charizard? What's wrong with you, dude?
Like you never, you never get to that point, you know, like in gaming, like, because I don't know, gaming like makes you chill. I think more chill. Besides these fanboys, but they're a little bit. I think they're just like the mentally ill trying to pretend to be gamers.
Well, that's the thing. It's they're crazy. They just happen to like gaming, so they're crazy gamers. If they were into rock climbing, they'd be crazy rock climbers. If they were into, you know, riding bicycles, they'd be crazy bicyclists.
And these people are just like anyone else. They're the kind of motherfuckers you bash in the head with a rock 20 or 30 times, and you know what? They drop like a fucking rock every time. Same kind of fucking people.
Every time.
Bunch of violent ass motherfuckers.
Hey, a big rock always works.
I'm not sure if the gamers are doxing people. I haven't seen anything as far as gamers doxing.
I can personally tell you the stoners aren't doxing people. They don't give a fuck where you live. So I mean,
no, the only time they actually give a shit where you live is if you have pot at your house and they're going to come over and smoke something with you.
They might dox Burger King. That might happen, but not another person.
And if you're talking about like what, what's his name? Jack Moo Johnny did Hard 8. That's not doxing because he used shit that was on Google.
That's public information.
That's public information. Doxing is the releasing of private information.
As skeezy as it might be to highlight public information that, you know, especially if you're like calling for followers or people to, you know, harass them or whatever. That's not quite the same thing as doxing. Yeah.
To me, if you're a YouTuber, then you don't sign up for shit with your home address or your home phone number and all this shit like that. That's going to be sold to Google. And you sure as hell, if you Google yourself to make sure your personal information is not out there, then you do whatever you got to do to make sure it gets taken down before somebody else gets a hold of it.
Bro, like the thing is if anybody's gonna get pissed at anybody for doxing anybody, be mad at Google, be mad at Facebook, be mad at these corporations that literally sold your fucking information up the street for the highest bidder. If you're gonna be mad at anybody, simple.
Because
you
it was
can dox
public
me
information at that point.
Go ahead and dox me. You can come over if you have Taco Bell, okay?
Well, if you happen to like lead, you can come over to my house too. So, because I shoot on sight and then ask questions later.
We actually have a follower out here, a subscriber that lives by us. So, and me and Shane both told him like, hey, you want to come out, bro? Let's do this. Like, hell yeah.
Bring Taco Bell and we'll be best buds forever.
Like, I have no qualms about meeting people in the real, so when they sit there, they're like,
yo,
they'll be like, yo, nigga, you don't got the balls. I'm like, dude, I'll give you my address.
Come at me, bro.
Dude,
I want you to meet him at E3. You gotta meet him at E3. That's where everybody fights.
There's been so many people on these Facebook groups that talking about they're gonna whoop my ass, whatever like that. I've like on the comment
you
section,
have one. You have a few of them that live by you, don't you?
Yeah, I've replied with my fucking address. And said, look, I'll even put you up in a fucking hotel if you want to come. Come on.
Yo, I seriously think that's a white person thing because I've been saying that shit too. I've told people, hey, I tell you what, I'll box you, and guess what? Win or lose, you'll still have a place to stay and food in your stomach. I'll take care of it.
Yep. Like I have no.
We're gonna fight next time we hang out, Bram.
Oh, hey, Shaner, speaking of Taco Bell, are you going to be taking part of that Xbox One X Taco Bell thing?
You know it. Me and Brimstone both are going to eat Taco Bell for the entire promotion.
Well, my wife loves Taco Bell, so we're going to eat she's going to eat the Taco Bell. If I don't like that meal that they're putting that steak, whatever, chorito, whatever the fuck the thing's called. So I'm going to donate my meal to homeless. I'm going to find a homeless person and say, here, dude, you can have the shits for a week.
That's kind of mean, but okay.
It's kind of true.
Man.
Taco Bell doesn't do that to me.
Well,
Taco Bell fucking kills me, man.
Me too. It has for a while.
But see, I worked there for 6 months, like whenever I was in high school, and I ate there, of course, all the fucking time. And then when we were going, when I quit there, went to a different job. But then my friend loved Taco Bell, so every single day for school for 2 years we ate Taco Bell, every fucking day at school. So by the time I get out of high school, I'm like, the thought of Taco Bell just nauseates me now. So I
Really?
didn't eat it for like 15 years. And then I met my wife, and she loves Taco Bell, and I was like, I hate it. I can't. No, don't even mention that shit. And finally, I gave in, and I ate there with her, and I was like, okay, it's good. And then I ended up in the fucking bathroom. I'm like, so I'll eat there with her because I want her to be able to eat like the food that she likes, but it kills my fucking stomach now.
I think it's to the point. Well, I know it's to the point with me, but it might be to the point with Brim too, where if our girls ask, like where we want to eat, and we say Taco Bell, they're like, never mind, go by yourself. I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Down to that, yeah.
I
I
think
like
I always
my
have
food
Taco
last.
Bell.
Whenever, like I learned a long time ago that by working in these places, that you never want to know how your food is made. And you definitely never want to piss off the person making your food.
Yeah, I
Because
worked at
as a
Taco Bell
kid-
for a few months. It's not that
Yeah.
bad.
Well, when I worked at Taco Bell, see, this was me though. I mean, when I worked at Taco Bell, I ended up working like the drunk Friday and Saturday night, and there was a guy that came to the drive-thru talking about like he was cussing all us out, cussing the girl at the drive-thru out, and he wanted these burritos, and I was a dipper at the time, and so I made him a burrito, but I put my dip in there with it. Like I took it out of my mouth and spit it in his fucking burrito.
That's fucked up, man.
I wrapped that
Dude.
shit up and we handed it to him.
Wow.
That's fucked up, Rambo.
Yeah,
That's
damn.
terrible, dude. Terrible.
The
Well,
worst
did
I've
he-
ever done is drop something, step on it, and then give it to him. I've never put my dip in there.
Oh, yeah, my dip.
But I've
came-
never
like
done
I just
it
like
either.
spit it all, like my
So-
spit and everything into his burrito.
So
That was
I
just
was,
sauce.
I was the okay. So check this out. I was the only one on the schedule for the early morning shift over at Burger King. Mind you, I was doing a paper route, working this job, and going to school all at the same time. So I'm fucking tired. I have to work the goddamn fryers and the sandwich area at the same time, right? So I have to double work every fucking thing. And at the time, I played a lot of soccer, so I caught a fried chicken patty on my shoe and then boosted it back up. I foot flicked it back up to the table and landed it right on the bun. That's the best thing I've ever done. But, you know,
Well, see now,
my
at
boss
McDonald's,
was like, "Yeah, don't ever do that again."
when I worked at McDonald's, whenever they had like the quarter pounders for 99 cents, we would be, because back then they actually cooked the burgers like and then like
With a
put them in the,
spatula, yeah.
Right.
like the bin and stuff like to wait. Well, we would be cooking a bunch of burgers, and like you'd be like trying to go fast, and the burger would go flying across the floor. Well, we'd pick it up and put it on the bun and just set it out. Like we never wasted burgers. Like it always went out, whether it hit the floor or whatever. Like it went out.
You know what? This is a good way to segue into the topic that I wanted to cover tonight, Rambo.
What's that?
This is
I'm
the
scared that-
working fast food and living off of it. Remember the wage thing that we were talking about on
Oh
Twitter?
yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Alan. Okay, wait, let me address Alan real quick. Alan, I was 16 years old. There's a big difference between 16-year-old me and 41-year-old me.
Yeah, I was 15 working at Taco Bell, so
Yeah. So I mean, you can't like going back to those days and like what I did back then. There's no way in hell I would live it now. So just putting that out there. But yeah, the minimum wage. Oh my god.
So,
Oh.
so, and this has a lot to do with responsibility and accountability. I see a lot of people talking about how the wage thing needs to be raised more. All these fast food restaurants, you know, they should really go up to the $15 mark an hour. You know, I'm just like, is it really the case, or are you too lazy to go out and find a better job? Because I remember when I was working fast food, when I came back into town, when I was like 18, 17, before I landed the power plant job, dude, I was able to live off that Burger King job for fucking almost like 2 or 3 months. I paid my rent, and I didn't live beyond my means. That paid for food for me and my girl. That paid for everything, dude. And these guys are saying that they can't do it. And it's like, well, why should we have to cover you or the corporation should have to cover you because you decided that you're going to live beyond your means. What the fuck is what's wrong with this picture here, dude?
Well, to be fair, back when we were kids, the cost of living, as far as like the housing,
right,
was cheaper than it is now. So, like as of right now, the minimum wage is not a wage that you could per se live off of, even living within your means. Like, I mean, like if you lived with other people and stuff, and you could make things work. But to be like living on your own, at least in Oklahoma, we like $7.25 is just not enough to survive on your own.
I was just gonna say out here it's way cheaper than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, California's ridiculous.
However, there's like these jobs were never created in the hopes that people would take them and decide to work those to live off of. They were created as like saying, okay, you can't pay minimum skilled workers whatever you want because people were paying them shit wages. So we're going to create a minimum wage so your minimally skilled workers don't get fucked over.
God damn it. I'll be right back again.
All right.
Okay. So being 40 years old or 30 years old, if you think that you should be able to walk into McDonald's and get the entry-level position at McDonald's and like raise your family, then you've got the situation all wrong. Like, you chose your life at 30 years old to be to the point to where you have no discernible skills to offer an employer.
And if you have a family, right, then that goes.
And if you have
if that goes with what you're saying, if you have a family of more than one child, why aren't you looking for a second job? Why are you bitching?
Or to educate yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Why are you bitching about the one job you have when they did decide, hey, we're going to hire you, and then you're bitching about that they're not paying you enough? No, it's not their responsibility to pay for your fucking family. It is your job to make sure that you're financially able to support your family.
Before you have, like, I hear that all the time about the family. I was like, before you have kids, it's your job as a person that's going to parent a kid to make sure you can actually parent that kid and do everything like in your power to provide for that kid. If you're working at a minimum wage job, then you shouldn't be out there having unprotected sex.
Absolutely.
Like, that's just you should be like taking like understanding like, okay, look, I can't do that because I cannot actually support my family if I ended up getting somebody pregnant. Second of all, go to fucking college. And this guy today, oh man, he was like, well, what if you can't afford college? I was like, anybody can afford college.
Anybody can go sign up for a fucking FAFSA.
And I said, they have grants and loans. And he goes, well, yeah, but then you're in debt after college. I said, well, don't get some bullshit degree.
Yeah, don't go to some bullshit college either.
And you don't even have to go to a 4-year college either. There's trade schools, there's 2-year programs, there's online colleges. There's a bunch of ways.
There's different things you can do.
Something. A
that makes better than minimum wage.
Some way. Yeah, exactly. That gives you access to a job at the very, or a multitude of jobs that would otherwise be unavailable to you.
And to think like this, he was actually like saying that he was a server, a stupid waiter, making $12 an hour, and he was bitching. I was like, dude, I said, there's no way in hell that you're making $12 an hour as a server and bitching. I was like, I can guarantee you ask any server, I said, they would kill for your fucking position. And he was like, well, it's just not fair. Like, I should be making more than $12 an hour because I have a family. And I was like, it's not, okay. Your employer's responsibility is just to get you a job, to put you to work. I said, they're not there to make up for, to pay for your life choices that you made that were bad.
Right.
They're not like going, okay, well, I have 3 kids, so I deserve to make $18 an hour. I have 5 kids, so I deserve to make $25 an hour. That's not how this employer-employee relationship works. Like, if you think you're worth more money than what the minimum wage is, then go out and get one of those jobs. If you can't because you don't have the skill, then go apply yourself and make sure you have that skill to get that job.
Yep.
And I said, and I tried to explain to him, I said, whenever you, when you go to college or whatever like that, he said, well, if you're poor, you can't go to college. I was like, that's bullshit. That's an excuse.
Right.
And I was like, go to college, do what you got to do, get out and make sure. I said, because he said, well, it's oppressive. There's a systematic oppression to poor people. And I was like, well, that can't be possible because Ben Carson, it was one of the poorest people that was like around, because he was in Section 8 housing, passing from Section 8 to Section 8.
With a single mother.
Yes, with a single
Yeah,
mother.
like,
he's now a
the whole nine yards.
world-renowned neurosurgeon, not just a surgeon, but a world-renowned neurosurgeon. And he's like, well, that's one man. I was like, but if one man can do it, anybody can do it. I was like, if it's systematic oppression, that there's no one man that can do it. No one man can get past the system, because the system is oppressing everybody. They don't let somebody through the cracks. That's not how systematic oppression works.
Right.
And I was like, but then he kept on saying, well, that's just one man, that's a straw man. I was like, no, that's just proof positive that you can, if you choose to apply yourself and live like below your means, like for a while, you can actually make something of yourself if you apply yourself. But you're choosing not to apply yourself.
And this all stems from a lack of accountability and, well, I mean, just lack of accountability. People want to live beyond their means. They want to keep up with the newest phone trends. They want to keep up with the newest hardware trends. They want the latest and greatest console. They want the highest end fucking TVs. And yet they've got like 4 fucking kids collecting a pension at the end of the year with their taxes because of it. And they blow their fucking money when they're supposed to be, oh, I don't know, paying bills with that money, making sure that the kids have food, clothing, ready for school. Or even better, if you're on a 50-50, you know, the whole 50-50 thing where the parents are divorced and they both have 50-50 custody, and you have to split that shit. Either way, that money has to go to the fucking children. And a lot of these guys will want to keep up with all the latest shit because they don't think about their kids. They think about themselves. And a lot of these guys work fast food fucking jobs. I hate to say it, but it's true. Even when I was a kid coming out of high school, like 90% of my coworkers were Rambo's age and above, all in the same predicament. They were fucking baby daddies, dude. They were fucking deadbeat dads who were getting raped by the system because they decided to put their dick into everything. So they had like 3 or 4 exes that they're paying fucking money to. And they acted like the fucking corporation should have to cover that. And it's like, no, this is not how a job works. The job works like this. You step in, you put into an application with your resume and cover letter, give in and take what corporation you're going for. So let's say McDonald's. More than likely, you're not going to have either one of those 2 things. Your initial agreement is when you say yes to the stipulations that they give you once you're fucking hired. They do not owe you anything more after that. Because you signed your fucking paper saying, hey, I acknowledge the stipulations of this corporation. And that's that. I mean, you could negotiate your wage if you're smart enough. But if you're not smart enough to do that, then you shouldn't fucking put more stipulations on an agreement that you've already agreed to. And that's what these fucking idiots are doing now, dude. It pisses me off. They're actually, they caused like, what, 3 or 4 companies. Let me put it this way. When you see more than one McDonald's in your area shut down, those are fucking signs, bro. Like, you could open a McDonald's in a ghetto and it would be fucking a top 5. Easy. And you see 2 of them shut down in your neighborhood, yo, there's some fucking issues there.
Yeah, and to me, like, what they don't realize is that if you raise the minimum wage to say even $15 an hour, you're going to put more people out of work than actually give people work, because the jobs that were destined for like the school age kids and the college kids and the part-time mothers and everything like that are now going to be flooded with regular 40-hour work week people, because they're $15 an hour. They can actually they can learn to support themselves on $15 an hour.
Yeah.
And so all these other younger kids are going to be without a fucking job. They're not going to have any clue what work is until they get to be 30 years old. And not to mention that, as I said, these employers like McDonald's and stuff are going to cut people's hours back. So you're going to get $15 an hour, but instead of working your 38-hour work week at $7.25 an hour, now you're working a 12-hour work week.
Yeah, doesn't that not make sense, though? Like, what would you rather have? Would you rather be paid, let's say, 10-something an hour, which California, and I even when I was in high school, it was like $8.50 starting off. So I did pretty good. at that my first fast food chain. So I have a
Yeah.
question then. Wouldn't you want overtime at ×2, right, and get your taxes done that way, or do you want to do ×2 of the wage, and on top of the overtime, guess what? You're gonna be by yourself working that whole fucking shift, pissing off thousands of customers because the fucking line in the drive-thru is too slow and the fucking counter is fucking slow because you're the only one that can afford to pay for that fucking day. So, I mean, do you want a team or do you want your company to be on the brink of fucking extinction because you're too dumb to go out and better yourself as a human being to take care of your fucking family?
It blows my mind, like they don't understand, and plus, like, raising to $15 an hour will raise the prices of everything.
Yeah, that's what Caesar was saying. Yeah, which I agree with.
and
Yeah,
then-
you're absolutely right.
And then also, it'll also, like, these people that are like for it, that are working, like, okay, well, I already make above minimum wage anyway, so it doesn't matter if they raise it. But what they don't understand is that also actually has a trickle effect upwards to the people that are working in these, like, say, call centers that are making $12, $13 an hour starting. These people, those people's jobs will be affected too. So that minimum wage being raised will definitely screw with everybody, and then it'll actually end up hurting the people that it was meant to help.
Yep.
So it blows my mind. Like, it doesn't make sense how they're thinking. Like, I think the minimum wage right now is $7.25, like, across the board. But I mean, of course, some states have raised their wages. But I think every year, like, because if you go look at, like, say, most companies, when you get a yearly raise, it's like a 1% to 2% cost of living raise. And if you go to, like, if you're on Social Security each year, you'll get like a 1% to 2% cost of living raise for the whole year for your yearly salary.
Mm-hmm.
Minimum wage, if they're going to increase it like that. Like, every year, it just has like a 2% cost of living raise. And it doesn't raise like that drastically. It goes from like $7.25 to the next year, like a $7.40, the next year, maybe $7.65. And it just keeps raising like that at a portion of time. And then if you have a slower increase like that, it's not going to affect near as much as jumping it from $7.25 to $15 an hour.
Right. And I've
because
always told,
life will catch up to it.
Yeah, and I've told people this in many debates that I've had here on YouTube when it comes to this topic. I've told them, I'm like, hey, like, it's just like the whole fucking healthcare program that Obama wanted to pass. You can't just fucking flip a switch overnight and expect everything to be okay amongst all classes and all parties of the citizens here in this country. You can't just, boom, $15 an hour and expect everybody to adhere to it and be fine. That's going to affect ginormous industries that are tied to the very industry that the fast food market's in. I mean, you have multiple different foods categories, subcategories that are worth millions. You've got people that need to work over the FDA. I mean, you have so many fucking things that's going to be affected all the way up the chain. So when people say, I want higher minimum wage, just remember, you're not affecting just the restaurant. You're affecting everything. And so, like you were saying, slowly adapting, that's why I always said about the healthcare bill that he passed. He should have slowly adapted it and made it to where it was an adaptive program that could adapt to everybody's wage. And it would just affect everybody globally across the board like that. It would be one umbrella, and you wouldn't have to worry about fucking paying any penalties. And if it was adaptive, you wouldn't have even noticed it being pulled off your fucking check. But no, he wanted to go ahead and just be like, guess what, motherfucker? You don't have insurance?
You do.
Here's a $3,000 bill at the end of the year if you don't fucking get your insurance straight.
God, the excuse the Supreme Court allowed for that was just ludicrous, too.
Well, this is because he changed the wording from a tax, because that's against the Constitution,
right,
to a penalty, and so therefore that the wording, the actual just
even
the way
though
they worded it is
thing.
what made it.
Yeah.
Yes, even though it's the same thing, just because the word and the definition of those words are different, they have a different context or whatever. They were able to pass it to the Supreme Court. I actually had somebody tell me today or the other day that we need a single payer system.
Ugh.
Because a single payer system, if you knock out all the insurance companies besides the one insurance company that's covering everybody, then you don't have to raise taxes to fund it. You don't have to do anything. It'll just take care of everything.
How stupid is this person?
Well, I mean, based on that statement, like 100% stupid.
We've run these numbers. The math has been done, and it doesn't work.
Well, I try to tell them, I was like, if a company is not if a company is not producing a product for sale to get income coming in, then a single payer system would be, then they have to raise capital somewhere in order to fund that system. The only way to raise capital to fund that system would be to raise your taxes, because it would be a government-run program.
Why Canada
He's like, well, no, man. He's like, it doesn't work that way. And I'm like, God, just go look at any single-payer system in the world. They've raised their taxes tremendously.
Dude, they're like what? I think, what is it, Poland or some shit like that? I think they have like a 70% fucking tax. It's ridiculous.
It's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, basically. So
and all of those countries, their defense budget is currently being subsidized by us, by the way.
Yes.
And that's the only reason that this works for as little as it does, because they're all failing and they're all running out of money, and it will collapse sooner or later. It's just a matter of when. But the only reason they've even been able to last this long is because nobody else has been paying into NATO except for us.
Yeah, we're the ones paying their defense, so they don't have a defense budget. We cover it.
Wasn't fucking Trump trying to pull us out of that?
Yes.
That's what he was trying, but
it's going to be hard to do.
Like, how the fuck are these assholes not going to pay into it if we are the only ones paying into it? That's fucking dumb.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think we're not the only ones paying into it, but we do pay like the lion's share, and there are several countries that don't pay anything. Like, I think the UK gives us some.
Switzerland don't.
Yeah, but like all of the Nordic countries pretty much don't, because they've all been socialist although they're currently like turning more capitalist now. But anyway, yeah, I think like France and a few others haven't been for a while since they've been having so many problems.
And we are the ones that, and since they're our allies, then we're the ones that fund their budget.
Well then.
So yeah, I mean, like they all point to those things, but I'm like, but they couldn't be successful if it wasn't for us paying for them to have a defense. Like,
exactly.
If we took that money away, they could not survive.
And that's why Trump has flipped on this NATO thing, because even though it's a ridiculous cost that we really shouldn't be paying, world stability is more important.
Yeah, it'll fuck over all of our allies.
And it's far easier. Vulnerable. Exactly. And it's far easier to try and get other people to pay more or to pay some than it is to just drop out and then like try and start something from scratch,
Yeah.
It's one of those necessary evil kind of things that people really need to, there are gray areas in morality and life, and that, this is one of them. And it's like,
as long as we never adapt to the UN's
oh God, yes,
power over their like the laws and stuff, then I'm okay. I'll be okay.
Did you hear about them putting up? They were going to be voting on something to do with making cultural appropriation illegal.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it. I was just like, Jesus Christ. Okay, so UN panel. Who owns a culture? Who owns Japanese culture? Is it the current head of the government? Is it the people in its entirety? Is it a select group? Which peoples can sue for cultural appropriation? Like, how is that going to work? Are they really going to write it all out? Like, if your ancestors were born here before these other people's ancestors, then, but if these other people then come in that are even older than you, have even older roots than you do, well, then you're fucked. You better shut down your taco stand, because these other, God.
It would be a nightmare to police that.
Right.
But, I like Trump on North Korea. I was very happy to see that he drew that line. I just hope that he can back that line up, because the notorious Syria line, it was like, there's a line in the sand, and they cross the line. They're like, okay, well, that was really a line that, we're going to start talking about it, talking things over. That wasn't really doing anything. We're just going to talk things over now that you crossed the line. So I hope that Trump doesn't wait for more shit to happen. Like, I don't want to go into war, obviously. I never wish that upon any soldier.
Right.
But something has got to be done because we cannot allow North
This could
Korea to have.
seriously fuck up the entire world, and it
Yes,
be
we cannot
handled.
allow to have a madman have access to nuclear weapons, and especially since he's like threatening one of our allies, Guam, then he can fire on Guam and we can't shoot it. I mean, obviously we have bases there, and I'm not sure if we can shoot that missile down before it fucks something up.
Or
I know
maybe
we
not
can,
even like Japan or anything.
Yeah,
You know,
And I know
maybe
that-
maybe we could for us or Australia or something. But
Yeah.
I mean, shit, yeah, who knows? Japan, China, India. I mean, there's plenty of countries and allies real close to North Korea, South Korea. I mean, he could probably nuke South Korea, and we wouldn't be able to do anything
until
far
we would
later.
have
Yeah,
we would have to react instead of be proactive.
exactly.
And something's got to be done with him before it gets to that point, because it's a scary thought of like Kim Jong-un having 60 nuclear warheads. And I know
think-
people make these jokes like talking about, because I saw these tweets saying that it's scary having this madman have access to nuclear weapons, and then there's Kim Jong-un. They're trying to compare Trump having access to the U.S. nuclear arsenal as being worse than Kim Jong-un having access to 60 nuclear warheads, and that's not even near the case.
Yeah.
First of all,
I mean, it's
First
it's
of all,
pretty
in
ridiculous,
America,
so.
it takes 2 people to launch the code. So even if Trump was like going as a madman, he couldn't just launch the codes and launch the nukes himself. In North Korea, it doesn't work that way. He can just say, "Fuck it, do it, let's do it," and it's gone.
Fuck it, we're doing this live.
Huh?
Hit the launch codes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's what like it blows my mind. It's like we won't allow Iran. That seems to be. I would honestly say that Iran is more stable than North Korea. I would say we won't allow Iran to even develop a nuclear program, but we're gonna sit back and allow this motherfucker to have 60 nuclear warheads. Like that doesn't make sense.
Why not, bro? Are you scared? You scared, bro?
Well, the places they're targeting, like L.A., Chicago, and New York, I've already come to terms with the fact that those people can be bombed.
right? I'm in Sacramento, dude. If they even take out Frisco, I'll be cool with it.
I'm okay. I mean, I'm okay.
It'll be all right. The country will move on. We'll accept
Yes.
our losses,
We'll
And
build.
gracefully-
We will rebuild.
keep calm, and return fire. Right?
Yeah, like I mean, but do we even really need to return fire?
You're just like,
I mean,
you're like, you
For
know.
Frisco, no, I'm not. I'm cool with Frisco.
I'm just like, well, instead of like us returning fire, we'll send a missile over there, like a dud, with a thank you note. It'll just land in their yard and it'll say thank you.
thank you for restoring our fucking democracy and our economy.
Yeah,
Woo!
like you balanced us out. We're good.
All the debts that you owe us, guess what? We're clear.
Yeah,
That one,
and then
that one
then
was a
maybe they
mulligan.
maybe the guy at Google can get his job back.
Some of these people, though, I mean, let's talk. Yeah, have we talked about Google?
We talked about it for
little
briefly,
bit
but then
last time, yeah.
I went into the search engine results, and we didn't really get to talk about the actual manifesto.
All right, so let's go ahead and cover that a little bit. The
Okay.
actual manifesto. I know you got that covered probably better than anybody else here.
I've been like studying the manifesto, and basically what it was is that this guy that works at Google, he said that he's came out and talked about it, but apparently every single meeting, whether it's offsite, everything, it's all recorded at Google. Everything is recorded. But they were having an offsite meeting about diversity, but it was one of the meetings that they chose to be a secret meeting where they chose not to record anything.
Of course.
And the reason why he said that it was one of these secret meetings that were not to be recorded was because they were going to be discussing a topic that, if it got leaked, could be seen as like wrongthink or whatever. So they had this meeting, and he came up with this document that he then distributed out to Google. I guess the people there that were at the meeting agreed, and he distributed it out, and it was leaked showing that the differences between men and women in the tech industry. And he was stating all the different biological differences, the actual biological differences between men and women, and how the career paths that are chosen, and how things, in biology, like direct what kind of career fields you go into.
Yeah.
And they were all actual factual, scientific, fact based. Like they were, like every
there
like
wasn't
you go to
some
any
stupid ass redneck woman hating shit.
And if I am correct, the scientists that did at least a few or most of the reports that he cited have come out and said, yeah, all this guy's stuff,
it's actually correct. Yes,
of us is right. He's reading the data right. He's, everything. Yeah, totally.
Yes, but not to mention this, because this guy even went on to say, okay, look, I know Google does its job in trying to be diverse, but they're doing diversity wrong. They're trying to give preferences to genders and to races because of gender and race, rather than trying to cater a job field to them to actually make the gender roles and the stuff that they are actually better suited for them. And he said, so here's like the way what I'm envisioning for Google. And he actually gave a different takes at like how, women are more cooperative, like working with people and everything like that. So let's try to make tech, like coding, more cooperative, to where it like invites more women into the field, because it fits right into their not like a gender role, but their gender strengths. Yeah. And then, so that way they can actually have more women in that field than what they do now. Yeah. Because he said what happens now, he said that at Google, it's kind of like what happens now at Google is like, well, we got a job in this field that's not cooperative, not anything like that, but we don't have enough women here. We're gonna move a woman up, and then she gets in there and she gets stressed out because it's not not catered to like her biological differences. So he's like, so let's work on actually making these job fields like cater to the actual biological differences, so that way it increases the amount of women that we can hire and keep in those positions, because they're more comfortable there. And so he was actually giving factual based and actually anecdotal things to make these things better for women. And they flipped the fuck out. Like they fired him. They said that it was anti-diversity, and that they actually said that the head of Google that fired him said that here at Google, we believe in diversity, but if you don't believe the way we do diversity is right, we will shut you down.
That's so sad.
So yeah, it's like basically this guy got fired for wrongthink, even though everything that he said was right. They decided, let's, instead of actually, and guys, if y'all want the link to the manifesto, I have the thing saved. I can't link it out in the chat, but just either tweet me or tweet the Game Talk podcast or whatever, and I can get you the manifesto, so that way you can actually read the whole thing for yourself. But it's 10 pages. It's definitely worth a read, and it's actually very, very well written, and very the words were chosen very carefully. And so it's kind of a shame to see that that he was actually fired for this. But people were saying, like, there was actually a manager at Google that said that he actually has access to everybody's fucking Google Plus. And that whenever somebody applies for his team, that he will go into their emails and read all their fucking emails and everything else to see if they are a people of wrongthink, and if they are, he will put them on a blacklist of people that are not allowed to join his team.
Wow.
That's okay. That's okay at Google, but not actually stating the biological differences.
Well then,
because there is there is no biological difference between a man and a woman.
They are fucking stupid.
Yes, I'm like going. How do y'all just fucking ignore science? Like how? I mean, when did science become optional?
They're fucking retarded, dude. That's all.
I am.
They're fucking dumb, dude.
Well, between this and YouTube shit, like, yeah, I don't know how much longer, they're gonna be a thing.
Yeah, because I can guarantee you that the people that voted Trump, there's probably a good portion of them that are going to start using different search engines for their browse and different browsers and Google Chrome, and that's less ad revenue that they're going to get. Then they're going to have to start making changes one way or the other, or Google will be going down. And like you're talking about, VidMe can't like succeed or take over YouTube. YouTube is its own. I mean, Google is its own worst enemy right now.
Yep.
Look what got Trump elected. It was these people that think this way, that these PC politically correct people that got Trump elected. Now these PC people are actually running Google.
They're fucking idiots, dude. They have no idea what they're doing.
They're going to drive Google, one of the most profitable fucking platforms and like web browsers and everything around. They're going to run that company straight into the ground.
And
yes, Cyrus, Google does own YouTube.
Yes, it does, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yep.
Probably why all this press safety kind of bullshit is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the big change on YouTube has been happening, and another reason why, I don't know if you heard me earlier about the search engine results, but the search engine results are getting swapped, and to fit a narrative rather than.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's been happening for years.
Oh no, this is like really bad though. Are you on your PC right now?
I know.
Are you on your PC right now?
I am, yeah.
Okay, go to Google and type in white women, white babies, and go to images.
Yeah, I've seen these tricks before.
They're not. No. Google American. Like go to with the web.
Yeah,
web
I watched that live stream.
Yeah, where you Google.
Jeff Holiday was saying about and I love his. I was talking about this like Brem and some others yesterday. I love his little diatribe on that because he's so right when he says that it's because of these fucks at Google that we have to deal with fucking alt-right autistic preaching about saving a country for the white race and shit. Yeah, this is why. Yeah,
they created the alt-right.
Oh, it's just fucking ridiculous.
Just like Obama and Bush. Bush started it, but Obama created ISIS.
Yep.
From his actions, how he handled pulling out of Iraq and stuff.
Yep.
Now these PC people are now creating the alt-right. I hate the alt-right just as much as I hate the PC people, but I look at the alt-right as a necessary evil to combat these PC people. The only problem is that it is because they don't look it up. They don't.
Oh, they hate us. They hate centrists.
Yeah, they hate the centrists. Yes, they hate the people that actually just will look at fact-based things. Nobody's trying to say white people are more superior than the black people or men superior to women. None of that. We're not talking like that. We're just saying like your way of thinking is not factual based. Let's deal with the facts and just move on with that. Once we accept facts, diversity is diversity. Diversity is recognizing that there are differences in people.
God, it's such a stupid word.
And accepting those differences. Like being able to accept that about yourself and to be able to accept that about another person. Like I'm supposed to be able to accept that the woman next to me might not be as suited for the job that she's in, but that we've created if you truly believe in diversity is create the actual work environment that I'm in to be conducive to all different types of personalities, not just a certain number personality or something like that. They created a way to where everybody's kind of feels on this even playing field. That's diversity. But this diversity now is so much we just need a certain number. Yeah, we need a percentage of people here.
We need this percent of this race and this percent women and this percent this and it's okay. We need these numbers.
when it comes to like say Christmas, we can't put up Christmas trees because it might offend somebody. I was like, that's not diversity, because diversity is accepting people for their differences. Like you should allow these people to put up Kwanzaa stuff and the menorah and stuff like that during their holiday, and allow the Christians to put up Christmas trees or whatever, because it's supposed to accept those differences. That's what diversity is. But they're completely anti-diversity.
Well, yeah, Google just showed that. I mean, this wasn't even like, they call it manifesto and screed and shit like that, and it's like, really, dude, this thing is mild as fuck. Like, he didn't even use any salty language or anything. I mean,
no, he used actual just
science and just logical argument.
Reasoning.
Yeah,
yes.
That's it. That's it. That's all he did, and a few suggestions. Shit.
And his suggestions were suggestions based on the scientific fact on how to. His suggestions were how to make the workplace more conducive to women and men and people of like everything. Like it was a way to make the workforce more diverse by using the actual terminology from diversity. Like to be able
and
to,
yet that
to
was
recognize
still
it.
Not right think enough to stay hired at Google. Yeah.
Yep.
Just fucking ridiculous.
And we're talking about this guy was like the head of the, I think, technology department.
Yeah, he was not low in the company.
No, he was like way up there, like making like his salary. I can only imagine what the fuck his unemployment was like.
Well, Julian Assange already offered him a job, so I think he's going to be okay.
I hope so. I hope that.
I really do. He seems like a smart guy, so I don't think, I think a bunch of companies say, yeah, we really don't care about this.
The guy is actually a biologist.
Yeah.
Like he actually studied.
Yeah, he did not go to school for anything related to computers.
No, he actually is I think has like a master's or like a PhD or whatever in biology. Like he knows his shit in biology. So that's like whenever he was using like his own like studies, and then also based off a scientific fact within the science, based what scientific fact is known in the science community as his source. But the head of Google said that he wouldn't even link the manifesto in there because it was considered violently like violent harassment or something like that.
I love
violent
that.
Words.
Yep.
Like it was too violent for people to read.
Words are violent.
It's so scary that we live in this world, because like at this point, like you don't see it so much into the point like past Twitter or like these people having bullshit conversations, but when you see
you don't meet a whole lot of people where this has happened to, but
but when you start seeing they hit these big ass corporations, like these
and high level people, he even said there was a large group of people, and for God's sakes, I mean, how many could have possibly been higher up on the ladder than him, right? So presumably 99.9% of this group that he was talking about would be lower and therefore more scared than he was. And even he got fired. So who the hell could come up and say, hey, maybe this isn't cool, maybe we need to I mean, no, that's it. That's the whole fucking company. You are either a right thinker or you stay shut up or you're not welcome. Period. Yeah.
So, I mean, to see it hit these big megaton companies, to me, it
no, that's serious business.
Yeah, it paints a picture, a whole new type of picture within our society that it's a scary world that we live in now. Because I mean, they've chosen to ignore history, like rewrite history with your search engine search results. And in textbooks and shit like that, with what they're teaching in some of these classes, they're now like changing the way companies behave to where
diversity training is starting to become mandatory. Yeah, he discussed that too.
Now, see, I went through diversity training when I worked at a place called Avaya. Used to be Lucent Technologies, which used to be AT&T, but it was a call center job. And it was basically, we were handling all the Fortune 500 companies that actually had phone systems installed into their thing.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. Yep. So we had like part of our thing was to go through diversity training, and we had to sit back and listen to you know, like it was basically training white people how to not look at black people differently
Yeah,
or
not
women
be racist.
differently. It
Yep.
wasn't any. I mean, it was literally that. I was like, when you looked at the picture, it was like all the different slides were a man treating a woman terribly, or a white person treating a black person terribly, and so it was basically like a white conditioning camp.
It's social engineering, is what it is.
Yes, and whenever we got done, of course, it was a bullshit class. I mean, you could just simply tell the teacher tell the person teaching it, tell like what they wanted to hear.
Yep.
You passed, you moved on. But then whenever you got into the actual workforce and you noticed that like because they were talking about like celebrating people's differences. But then whenever you get into the workforce and you actually like try to celebrate people's differences, you were shut down because it could offend somebody else. And I'm like, but that's, you just
we can't say that anybody, men and women aren't different, don't you know, Rambo?
Yeah, it's like that's what it blows my mind. It blew my mind. It was like something, but they made us go to the diversity training every single year.
I couldn't handle it.
And it was like a 1-week class. And at the end of the class, we actually had a test we had to take. But I mean, it was basically common sense fucking questions. I mean, like, I don't understand how anybody could fail diversity class, but I mean, it was still like they were going to do it and do it and do it until they forced people to think like what they were, the way they thought. And it's so backwards to what diversity means. I'm like, because you're supposed to be, diversity is supposed to be to where I can be around a skinhead racist and a black person, a black person racist, or a woman, or then just a regular black person and an Asian person, and be able to understand that each person has different qualities and different pros and cons to each person, and to be able to say, okay, we're gonna like recognize everybody's differences, come to the table, and we're gonna be able to work with each other, knowing our differences. That's diversity. But diversity then was like, well, you're a white racist, you're out because you can't. There's nothing that you can bring to the table that's positive. You're a black racist, well then like you're out because there's nothing you can bring to the table at all. Well, you're a man that thinks that there's a difference between men and women. Well, you're out because you don't bring anything to the table. They don't celebrate the differences. Like it's like if you have a difference than what they think, you were no longer part of the company or the crowd. And that's not diversity. That's basically totalitarianism. It's really, well, Jay Caesar, I mean, it's one thing to say that you would quit, but whenever you're sitting on your ass for 8 hours a day at a union job where you're making $23 an hour 2 years after you start, it's kind of just hard to walk away where your insurance is completely paid for.
Well, it's really tough too, because a lot of these companies do these things and they have these fucking, diversity, whatever, not only courses, but like the division shit too. A lot of them do it just so that if they get sued, they have something to hold up to say, oh, well, no, we can't be, biased in this way because look at how, we strive for diversity and blah, blah, blah. And it really fucking sucks. It really does.
Oh yeah,
this is the kind of shit that's gonna kill like big business in the country.
Well, it's gonna kill capitalism.
Yeah.
And if we kill capitalism, it will kill the United States.
Yeah, I like big business or anything, but there's a certain amount that you need. And,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
People can think capitalism is bad, and I understand that. I can definitely understand their arguments to capitalism being bad. I mean, because there are some definite bad qualities to capitalism. However, you get rid of capitalism, you've gotten rid of what the United States was basically built on, and our financial system, everything, our infrastructure, everything crumbles. Then we live in a third world country. We've got to rebuild. Well, obviously, people in the country that are still left are not going to be thinking a capitalist way is going to be an appropriate way. So the only thing left at that point is to be a communist country or a socialist country, which there's really not much of a difference between a socialist country and a communist country.
No. Or a totalitarian nightmare.
Yeah. And at that point, you don't know. I mean, if you think capitalism is bad, like just go look at anywhere like socialism or communism was ever in place, and you tell me how much better that was off.
That's the thing. Capitalism is the worst system, except for every other system that we've tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, would you like China or would you like warlord Africa? Those are the only two options at that point.
Yep. And I mean, I say that if we're going to do anything, let's fix the broken areas of capitalism and make capitalism better. But
it's not really about that though for a lot of these people. A lot of these people, they just want to tear down everything.
Yeah, they want to tear down everything and start over, but yes, exactly, Cyrus. That's exactly what happened. Is that it's kind of like how most people elect a president over here. We usually pick the lesser of two evils, and that's how capitalism was bred. Is that we ended up having the best of the baddest, the worst systems.
Same thing with democracy. You know, it was
I hate
warlords.
God, I hate that. I hate when people say that America is a democracy.
Well, no. But I'm saying the concept of democracy, though.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. The concept of any of them, whether it's a pure, straight up democracy or like a republic or all of them. All of these are evolution from worse systems. And yes.
Oh, yes.
There are tons of things bad and good about each system, but these are the best ones that we've found with the least negatives. And yes, they're not great, but all the rest are worse. So unless you've got some utopia that hasn't been thought of before.
Well, I mean, we can definitely tweak capitalism. I'm not against tweaking the system we have.
Yeah.
But I'm not to the point of tweaking it to the point to where they want to tweak it too. Because that's completely going to deteriorate our capitalist society, and at that point we've deteriorated whatever that, I cannot say that word right now.
Deteriorated.
But we've deteriorated society as a whole. And I'm not comfortable with the fact of tearing down everything that we've built in this country over the last 100, 300, 400 some odd years.
250 years.
200, something like that.
I can't remember. It's like
it's a long fucking time.
Like yeah. So it's actually quite short compared to some other countries, but yeah, it's worked better. It's worked better for longer than anyone else before.
It's definitely too long for me to remember the exact number of years. But people don't understand. Sure, I mean the idea of tearing down capitalism and replacing it with something else, it sounds great. I mean, it sounds like sure, why not? Let's try it. If it was that simple, but you cannot tear down a society without actually having a society in place to ready to take its place. And the other options for society that anybody has is actually worse than capitalism. There's somebody said that having gender all this appreciation for the gender neutral bathrooms and all that would be the utopia thing, but the only utopia that you can get is totalitarianism. And that sounds crazy, that being utopia, but utopia would be what everybody has to think the exact same way.
Yep.
Everybody has to behave the exact same way. And that's, I guess, would be
everybody has to follow every rule all the time.
Yeah.
And, and when you go that far, inevitably someone gets to the top and says, okay, well, I'm not leaving.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then everybody, it would be in a utopia to a sort, but it wouldn't be in a utopia to anybody that thought differently. I mean, it would okay, I can right now, if the people that the trans rights, the SJWs, if they became leader and then totalitarian thing, it would obviously be a utopia for them.
Yeah,
all the Trumpers and all the different people like that would be dealt with. Yeah, the deplorables would be dealt with. It would be utopia for them. But just like any other system, if sooner or later that leader would be replaced with somebody opposite of the way he lived, and then it would become
just different enough.
Yes, and it would become a living hell for all those people that are wanting this system. They don't look at the long term effect of their thing. They're like, okay, short term we'd be great, but long term, you look at every other dictator or every other country, it always gets replaced with a different thinking dictator, and they just have to like. Life gets worse for these people that were living in such high as the hog. They were all like, "How life is great," and then all of a sudden, a new leader comes in, and they're like, "Life ain't great no more." And that's what will happen.
It's almost like you should never give anyone that much power because
Exactly.
power corrupts, and if you always keep it out of everybody's hand, nobody can do that. My God, somebody should have thought of this.
I know. I mean, I wonder.
We're gonna be
what type
rich,
of system.
Dude. We're gonna write it up and we're gonna sell it to every other country. Got it. We've got the answer.
I wonder what type of system would work for that. Could it possibly be? I don't know. What's that word for it? Constitutional republic.
I think you've got it. That's the perfect name for
it. That is what we are going to call it.
Yep. Somebody patent that shit. Copyright. Trademark. The Game Show podcast now owns Constitutional Republic.
Yeah. You cannot use that word without paying dividends.
Yep.
Like, that's just
$5 every time. Only $3 for a tweet. The hashtag costs extra.
Well, $3.50 for subscribers.
There you go. Yeah. Free to play, but yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, Cyrus, yeah, like basically like I say the PC, like you say the PC Master Race, the people who actually believe that PC Master Race, like the people who live and breathe that, yes. Because there's people that use it for the joke it's intended to be, and that's cool. I have no problem with those, but the people that actually live and breathe like this whole Master Race thing are the ones that are in that same type of thinking just within gaming.
Like I said before, these are the autistic assholes, and if they were bikers, they'd be autistic asshole bikers. If they were, a school teacher, and they'd be an autistic asshole school teacher. They happen in every group. Yeah.
They just happen to be the ones that are in gaming, and it's just the same thing. Like those are the idiots for the PC side. Then like you have the Xbox and the ponies that are the idiots for the console side. I mean, they all believe in that totalitarian viewpoint within their own platform. Like if you like the Xbox only live in they start talking about bleeding green, and the ponies, of course they're bleeding blue and shit like that. And then the PC Master Race, I don't know what the fuck they're bleeding, but
we just got the wavy hair flowing in the breeze.
Yeah, there's something. But those people are the ones that are really the negatives of our gaming culture, and we're gonna have them no matter what. Like we're just gotta we can't look at PC gamers as being the PC Master Race, or even all the people that actually even mention PC Master Race. We can't look at them all as the same, because like my friend here on the call with us, he refers to the PC Master Race, but he uses it as the joke it's intended for, not as I live and breathe PC Master Race.
But that is because you are a console peasant, though, Rambo.
Yeah,
yeah. So
I'm cool. I'm cool with being the console peasant. I've never understood I understand the joke, but I never understand the way the people use the ones that believe this.
Because that's the thing, they really want to believe that's all of this social justice warriors and feminists, Black Lives Matter and PC Master Race assholes and shower cap and all that. Every last one of them, they're all the same. They want to feel like they are above a whole bunch of peasants. They want to be out on the balcony declaiming their screed or whatever, or showing how much smarter they are. It's all the same. All just wanting to feel superior, and they want to feel like there's a million other people out there that are well beneath them, that they shouldn't even have to look at them because they are peasants, and I shouldn't have to deal with these people. The way
I look at it, it's really weird. If like if you've seen my Twitter, I'll go at it with SJWs and I'll go at it with fanboys. But it's almost like your conversation never really changes.
No.
Just the topic.
Yep.
And it's sad because I mean, like they literally are just the SJWs of gaming.
Who's the SJWs of gaming?
Fanboys and PC Master Race and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, all fanboys, I think, are the SJWs.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
That's what we were saying is basically all the fanboys of like the PC side, the PlayStation and the Xbox and stuff like that. All the fanboys are like the SJWs because you can have like I was saying, like I can go into a debunking of a SJW and having a big long Twitter conversation and transition over to a Xbot or a Pony or a PC Master Race guy, and the only thing that changes in the conversation is the topic. It's the exact same type of conversation I'm having with that SJW, debunking them.
Even a lot of the arguments are similar.
Yeah, if you have a bias, you'll never be wrong in your eyes in the conversation.
Yes, and I mean, I understand we all have our innate biases, but you're supposed to be able to recognize those and be able to cope with them and look beyond them. But these fanboys just can't. Like they're stuck in their biases. Like there was actually somebody that tweeted out saying that if you are a gamer that only plays on one console because you choose to listen to your echo chamber, then you are not doing gaming right. And this one guy was going at him saying, who gives you the right to tell people how they can game? And I was like, okay, you're not understanding this. Like, he's like, well, I only have one system, so how am I not a gamer? And I was like, that's not what he's talking about. Like, you got to understand the whole context of that thing. He's saying because of your echo chamber. Like, if you're choosing because you have some sort of bias against something else just because it's something else, then you're not doing gaming right. Because sure, you could still game on a PlayStation only and not like at Microsoft or Xbox. But if you put down everything that Microsoft or Xbox does based on your biases, then you're not doing gaming right. Because the gamer can appreciate a good game even though they don't like the system it's on.
Yeah. Like, I know we give each other shit with the Xbox and PlayStation thing.
Yeah.
But when I'm asked a question by someone that I don't go back and forth with and give shit to, and they want to know something, if it's good or bad on Xbox or PC, I'll tell them I'm not the person to ask about that, simply because I game on those two platforms and I don't see hardly anything wrong with them. So you're gonna want to go ask someone else.
Yeah, see, and since I actually have game on all three, I'll answer the question. But I even though I have a preference to PlayStation, if somebody tries to ask me a question like, okay, is Xbox worth it, or is the Xbox One X worth it, or is is Halo any good or Gears any good? I'm able to actually separate myself from going, okay, my preference is PlayStation, and just switch to my Xbox player and go, all right, well, here's like what I think about it because I've played them. Here's my thoughts on as far as the system. I can actually say, look, I think the system actually is worth it. I do think the Xbox One X is definitely worth the $500 it's billed to sell for. I don't use my biases well, you might as well buy a Pro, because a Pro is going to do you better because it has all the games and stuff like that. Obviously, if they're asking about an Xbox One X, they have an interest in Xbox. So I don't look at it as try to tell them what the PlayStation has that can do what I feel the PlayStation is better at than what the Xbox is. I try to talk to them just about Xbox. These other people, these fanboys, can't do that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's not that I can't set my, I guess you would call it a bias.
No. I understand that. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I just avoid that conversation in general because it always comes back to well, you played this, so you gave me shit information.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, I fully understand. I fully understand where you're coming from because you're not coming from a bias standpoint. You're coming from look. I have a personal preference to this, so to keep that from
there's so much subjectivity that goes into these things, and
yes,
you'll never, you can explain it as best you can, but there's really no way that you and another person can understand each other's subjective, preferences and shit like that. You know, yeah, I
And
mean,
that's
if
a
you've got an hour to it, you know, well, this is why I like it for these reasons, and I don't like it for these reasons. And if you care about this, this might be better. Or if you don't care about this, then this thing's what you should get. Yeah, you know, sure. But yeah, especially if it's just like some stupid convo on Twitter or something, it's almost impossible.
Yep, that's the reason why I like if they ask about a specific game or a specific console, I just talk to them about like my I'd always preference it saying this is my thoughts, like not any kind of factual base, but just my thoughts on it based on my experience with this. And then I list off like basically what I feel like the pros and cons are of like each what they're talking about. And I'll say these pros and cons are mine, but like you're gonna have to build your own based on this. Like some of my cons might be your pros. But like just I would like I like always like tell them like make a pros and cons list of like what you're looking for, what this thing can offer, and to see if like which one weighs out more. If there's more pros than for you, then obviously that system is for you.
And honestly, like whatever happened to like when I was a teenager or I was a kid, and I don't mean to sound like the old motherfucker here, but you just go buy something. You work for what you want, and then you go buy something. You make the goddamn decision yourself. Why are you going around asking people what you should buy?
Well,
it's you.
Okay. No, I will give you one. I will say, all right, because
I have to be with Shane on this one.
When I was a kid and when I was a teenager, all right.
How old are you? Wait. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay, Shane, how old are you?
Well, it's 29 for the next month or two.
Okay. So I'm
living it up.
So, but we're all pretty close.
29?
What?
Or is it this perpetual 29?
My numerical age is 29. If you were to look at my body on X-rays and MRIs, I'd be like 60. So,
okay, so yeah. Well, I don't know because like everybody keeps turning 29. So I just have to make sure that you're actually turning 20, like you're actually 29.
Yeah, I was born October 7th, 1987. You guys do the math.
All right. I wanted to see if like y'all's two, like all of our things would be like different as far as like when we say we were a kid. But go ahead.
All right. So anyway, I'm sorry to catch up. When I was a kid and when I was a teenager and probably even into my early adulthood, like maybe 19, 20, 21, but the games press and the in its entirety, you know, everything from the console mags to the PC mags and the websites and everything, they were a lot better at really giving you the information you wanted to know about either hardware or software. Nowadays, that is not the case. So I can understand why a lot of people would want to get opinions from, you know, content creators or whoever that they, you know, like, you know, for that reason. So that's my only thing to for that, you know, to counter that.
But even then, when like I bought my Super Nintendo, I didn't look in any magazines.
No, that's true. But you know, come on.
PlayStation 1, I didn't look in any magazines or shit. I didn't have the internet when PlayStation 1 came out. I didn't look at it.
But
these aren't, I don't think
this came out.
Most of these aren't kids, though. That's the thing. That's a lot. Making that choice is a lot different when you're a kid.
Well, I mean okay. First of all, I wasn't even a kid. I wasn't a full-grown adult whenever the PlayStation 1 came out. But even to this day, I don't look at anybody. I don't ask anybody like what they think about this or what they think about that or like what. I don't go to anybody's like YouTube channel to see what they're thinking. I don't go to any review site to see what they're thinking. I look at something and I say, I either want it or I don't, and I go buy it if I do.
I look at game trailers and what the actual console manufacturer puts on their channel and on their social media to showcase the system itself.
Well, yeah, because that basically is just looking at a commercial, and I'm good with that. Like I don't, but I mean, like to me, like when I bought these consoles, I didn't even know what the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One could do. I just knew that PlayStation 3, I was on Grand Theft Auto, playing Grand Theft Auto for a while, and the PlayStation 4 launched, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go get it. I didn't even know anything about it. I just went and said, okay, I'm going to go get it because I know that those games on the PlayStation 4 aren't coming to PlayStation 3, so I'm going to go get it. I didn't look up any differences between the PlayStation and Xbox. I didn't look up even price differences. I just knew that I was going to buy them.
Yeah.
Man, I have always scrutinized my purchases, so maybe that's just a personality thing. But
I
I can
didn't-
understand. I read, if I'm going to buy something, I read as many articles as, I never take them at their word. And that's the thing. This is why the game
You're able to decipher bullshit like an adult should.
Sure. But even then, I when they say it does this thing well, or it, I do the mental checklist in my head. Okay, well, do I care about that? Is that important to me? And all, so they were a lot better, especially like 10, 15 years ago. And so for people who like that information, yeah, there's just no. I mean, there's channels now, but I mean, Jesus, man, 5, 10 years ago, God, what? Go to Kotaku. Ugh.
Yeah, there was like back then there was the games media was better than what it is today.
Oh, leaps and bounds better, yes.
And I think that's what's driving a lot of these people to asking those questions, and that's why I explained that whole thing.
They were more objective, fact based, and I hate that fucking word, but they were than what they are now. And what they are now is people trying to fill their resume with a job,
or pushing an agenda.
Or pushing an agenda, and it's gotten to the point where like there's like I saw a review. I saw a review for Hellblade, and I never in my life thought how I couldn't I could not fathom this thought when you're playing a game. On his negatives, like on the thing, it was like he said, well, here I actually have the review because I found it to be quite troubling, actually, the way he wrote it. And you would think, okay, you're a game reviewer reviewing a game, and this is what you came up with. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. Slowly but surely, Ninja Theory has moved into film territory, but they can't let go of their need to shove action mechanics into everything they do. Okay, you're playing a game. It's supposed to have action mechanics. If you wanted to review a movie, you should have gone into movie reviews. He's basically saying it looks very cinematic, but by God, why the hell do they have to put that fucking action scene in there?
Yeah, why isn't it a choose your own adventure novel? Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, like this is games media as we have it now. Like these people are not gamers.
No.
These people are people that are looking for advancement within the journalist industry, and they came across an open position as a games journalist, and they thought, okay, I'm going to do that for a while until I can build enough reputation for myself and move on to actual journalism. And this is what we come up with. And this is like just that he said, with the increased focus and acceptance of so-called walking simulators, there's a huge market they can tap into. And I hope they end up doing that in the very near future. So he's actually wanting this thing to be like what you said, a visual novel, rather than an actual game. Like how do you become a games journalist? And then this is what you're wanting games to be, all just walking simulators. Granted,
a worse question than that. How can you write a journalistic article and not separate your own personal bias for walking simulators with how good of a game is it?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you can't even do that. You fail at journalism, let alone game journal.
Exactly. He's not going to make it any better journalist than he is a games journalist, because that's the problem with journalism today, is that they're allowing their own personal biases to dictate how they report the news. Yeah. And it's such a, it went from like Polygon. I think it was Polygon that played the Doom game.
Yeah.
It was so fucking terrible.
And all the tweets. How could people be cheering for this glorifying violent? Oh yeah.
And then you went to the people that reviewed Crash Bandicoot, calling it the Dark Souls of platformers, and I'm like, how? And then now we have this to where you're basically
been a walking
wanting
simulator.
Yeah, trust me, I love my walking simulators. I do love them because they are.
Yeah, all right.
Well, I like them because I love a deep story narrative in it. But I
Sure.
don't think that every game that actually has a deep story narrative has to be a walking simulator.
No, of course not. But
There's definitely a place and time for those walking simulators where you're trying to tell a definite story, and that's all you're wanting to do.
Rambo.
And when you're just wanting to have a
Then
great
they need
story
to play a damn Telltale game.
Wait a
As-
second, Rambo.
Exactly.
Hold on. Clicking buttons hard, bro. And these
Huh?
guys, they have shit to do. So if all the games that came out, you didn't have to click buttons, their jobs would be a lot easier.
Yeah, I guess that's
We
the way
are
that-
not-
the way they're
we are
looking
not-
at it.
Looking within ourselves, see how we are affecting these people. Isn't that what
Ah.
diversity is all about?
Apparently, yeah, apparently. But what was funny is like Ninja Theory, at the beginning of Hellblade, it actually explores the narrative of Hellblade is exploring mental illness because your character is mentally ill and hearing voices and shit like that. It's a really fucking well done game. But in the very beginning of the game, it basically says if you die too many times, you will be restarted, and your save file will be gone. And so everybody flipped their fucking shit. They were like, we're an adult. We have life. We don't have time for this shit. Like, I'm not buying it. Boycott it. And the whole time, it never even was true. They did this as an effort to put the player in a more anxious state. Whenever they played the game, they actually were putting themselves closer and closer into the character's shoes.
Right.
And so they were building a whole
Mythos,
like world
almost.
like around you and the character, and people were flipping their shit over it. Like, but still, like how even if they did do that, they were like, it's 2017, fuck that shit, we need to have checkpoints and shit like that. Like, fuck that. Not
So every game has to be the same, right?
Yes, not every game has to have this. If by chance that this game does have a permadeath situation, and that's not good for you, don't buy it. But don't say that they're like antiquated and they're outdated and it's a terrible game mechanic and stuff like that because they chose to have it. Like, good Lord, not every game is meant to be played by every single person. That's the reason why we have so many fucking games.
Exactly.
Yes, Caesar, fucking casuals.
Fucking casual. See, this is why we call them peasants.
And I mean, I call these people peasants too, like, because these
Yeah.
people are like, because they're like, to me, like, they are like beneath me when it comes to being a gamer. Because like this one guy, he's an Xbox guy, but he had a PlayStation at the time, and he was mad because Horizon Zero Dawn didn't have auto lock on.
Oh,
He said it's 2017. This shit is bullshit. Every game should have auto lock on. I'm like, no. I was like, that makes the combat way too fucking easy. He's like, no, auto aim doesn't make the game any easier. I'm like, the hell it doesn't. I was like, first of all, how do you even play your shooters with auto aim on? Like, that right there is like you're playing it on the easiest fucking setting. How in the world is this? Like, is this something that you are advocating for? Understand that just because you might want to play Horizon Zero Dawn doesn't need to add mechanics to make sure you get to play it.
not like every game. It's not gonna
No,
happen.
like, that's the thing, is they think every game should cater to every single, make an option for every single gamer so that way nobody feels left out.
Yeah, make
like
every
going-
game tic-tac-toe so everybody can play it.
Yes, and I'm like, that's not how I got it. Like, I hope to God games never get to that way, because
I
we're
don't
already
think they will.
the same guy. Now, mind you, the same guy bitches about Call of Duty never changing,
Of course.
and I'm like, how do you think that you're okay? You're not okay with Call of
Call of
Duty's
Duty
cookie-cutter approach.
changes,
Well, locations.
Right?
and jetpacks and no jetpacks,
Right. Okay. I mean,
Biggest
But
change in like 10 years.
wall
Yeah.
running and no wall running. It changes.
okay, very little bit does, yes. But he complains about that. But you're not okay with that cookie cutter approach, but then you want all games to have a cookie cutter approach.
Yeah.
I'm like, it makes no fucking sense. Like, you're contradicting yourself.
Yeah.
I don't want every game to be
Call of Duty.
checkpoint
or
here, like a
anything.
check-
Yeah.
a checkpoint every 15 seconds. I can commit a save file anytime I want to. I don't want every game to be that way. I want some games to be like the old school games, so where you felt nervous every fucking time that you played it, and you were on a hard level because you were like, I can't die, I can't die, I can't die, I can't die, I can't die. And when you got to that last life, you were like, oh shit, what do I do? Because you knew that if you died that one last life, you were going to start this shit all over again. Like that sense of anxiety that you had when you went in to play those games was exhilarating. Like it made you, like it really gave you a sense of like some sort of feeling whenever you played a game. Nowadays, you're just like, oh well, like there's 500 enemies in front of me. I'm just gonna run in and start shooting. If I die, who cares? That's not the way games should. Like the games were built back then. Like they were like, there's 500 enemies. I've got to figure out the best approach so I don't die. Yep. And nowadays, people are happy with the fact that you don't even have to fight the enemies. You just got to run to the fucking checkpoint. Like in Uncharted, like games like Uncharted and even Halo. Well, not Halo so much. Like Halo 5, they actually close off the area where the next area until you kill the enemies.
Right.
But I think in Gears, I think in one of those series, either Halo.
There have been a few where a lot of sections you could skip a whole bunch just by getting to the new, whatever the load point was. As soon as you crossed it, all the other enemies would disappear, and yeah.
And that's what people want, is that type of game. And I'm like, that makes the game no fun, because you can barrel through a 24-hour game in 6 hours.
Yeah. You're not completely ruin your experience. Yeah.
And they're like, but I have things to do, and I'm like, then take your time with it. I mean, it doesn't mean that you have to move on.
Invest in visual novels. There are some really good ones out there.
Yes.
They're called fucking movies.
And you know what?
Exactly.
And they need to make more of all of it. All of it. Movies, TV shows, video games, everything. There just to be more content out there.
This is why we have streaming services. Netflix, Hulu, Crackle. Fucking get one.
And that's what I don't understand, is like how they bitch about these game developers that want to actually make their game
the way they want. Yeah.
The way they want. I remember as a kid buying a game and just looking at it going, damn, am I going to actually be able to beat this game?
Yeah.
It wasn't like how long is it going to take till I beat this game? It was like, can I actually beat this game?
Can I?
Now people are looking at going, well, you're guaranteed to beat the game. There are still games on the NES that I played days and hours and months and whatever, still have not beat them to this day.
I have left games paused for over a day on many occasions back then.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
Final Fantasy VII, my PS1 did not shut down for like a year.
I've killed like 2 PS1
we didn't have a stick.
Yeah, when memory cards came into play, we were like, oh, what the hell? Like now, I remember the very first one I was like, now I don't have to leave my system on overnight. I was like so fucking excited. I remember Super Mario Brothers. That Nintendo would stay on, and you would just hope to God the next morning when you got up it didn't freeze.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yes, and like nowadays, like people are like, you're mad because they made a level too hard, and I'm like, how do you call yourself a gamer? Like gaming is supposed to be like not just a visual novel, like to where you're just going to a movie and there's an ending, but it's supposed to put a challenge to you. Like the games were a challenge, even though they were fun. They were a challenge. That was the whole purpose. And nowadays they don't want a challenge at all. Yep.
Some things should be like that, though.
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the thing. More diversity.
Yes.
All kinds of games. We need all kinds of games for all kinds of people, made in all kinds of ways.
But the guy that was bitching about Hellblade in the permadeath situation, he actually even said, I have no intention of even buying. I had never had an intention of buying this game. And I'm like, but why are you bitching about it and calling the
don't fucking
people?
talk about it then.
Yeah,
right?
like you have no right to talk about the developers, like, well, you know, the way he wanted to make his game. If you're not ever going to, like, he had no intention of buying it in the first place. And people were, and John Bain, Total Biscuit, was like, oh, he went off on him, like this long tirade on him. And then it came out saying that it was kind of just a like a what would you call it, like a mythos, like to put you in the character's feeling, like to make you just feel a certain way. And
Yeah.
he was like, well, I feel like an ass now. I'm like, well, you are an ass, because you should never have even jumped out on the damn bandwagon of hating on this. Like, sure, you might have things to do, but don't think that you're entitled to play that fucking game or to beat the fucking game. Nobody's entitled to beat a game.
It's true, they're not. So, like what we were talking about, how you just like basically me and Rambo, we didn't really, you know, get other people's opinion to go out and buy something. Brim wasn't here for that. We just went and did it, and if we enjoyed it, we enjoyed it. If we didn't, we didn't. And Rambo was saying he didn't know anything about the PS4 or the Xbox One when he went and purchased them. He just, you know, it was something he went and purchased, right? Okay. Well, for me, last generation, I was like primarily on the PlayStation when it came to consoles. I believe Brim was too. And what coached me to the Xbox One or pushed me that way was that big Sony hack in what was it, 2011?
Yeah.
I hated that. That was fucking horrible. After that, or no, during that, I went and got a 360. I got my son a 360 and had a pretty good time with it for about a year. And then I kind of just set it down. And then when the Xbox One became available, I saw Sunset Overdrive. That sold me on it. Now, what's going to look shitty is if you go to my Xbox account, I've hardly played Sunset Overdrive. But that game trailer, I was like, I got to have this console. So I don't know what pushed Brim to the Xbox One because, you know, that's where he went to. But, you know, I did eventually buy a PlayStation 4. It ended up going to my son because I didn't want to let go of the Xbox. So
Yeah, I was like a PlayStation guy. So the PlayStation 4 is like a no-brainer. What really sold me on the Xbox brand was seeing the Titanfall trailer. I was like, once I knew that Titanfall was going to be an Xbox exclusive, I was like, that's it. I gotta have an Xbox because I gotta play that game. And then like you with Sunset, if you go to my Xbox profile, you wouldn't know that like Titanfall was actually like my most anticipated game because the hours played and the achievements for it are kind of low. Because once I got the game, I didn't really like it as much as what I thought I would. So I never ended up doing it. But that's how I ended up. Just like I didn't go to anybody's opinion. I just saw something. I was like, oh yeah, I like it. I got to get it. I just got it.
Yeah.
It was a no thought process.
what about you, Brim? Last of Us.
Last of Us.
Bram, I don't think they can hear
Hey
you.
Brim, they can't hear you.
Check your OBS, see if you got your mic muted.
Yeah, I'm actually listening to the live stream and yeah, I can actually hear everybody talking to you, like all of us, but I can't hear you talking at all. Shadowkin, yeah, the unskippable. See, I don't ever skip cutscenes in the first playthrough because I enjoy the story, and the cutscenes
right.
to me are like an extension of the story. Shadow.
All right, guys, mic test. Let me know what you guys. Can you hear me? God, man, this is fucking retarded. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. Yep.
All right,
Hey guys,
cool.
can y'all hear Brim?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Yeah,
Okay.
okay. They said there you go. Okay, yeah. Okay.
All right, so fast forward. All right, Last of Us comes out on the PS3. Love that game. PS4 launch comes up, and I was already sort of jaded in gaming, so I went out and bought a Wii U, got addicted, played Mario Kart, loved it. Best fucking racing I've had in a while. That actually jump-started me into gaming again, got back into console gaming, so thank you, Nintendo, for that. Jumped over to the Xbox One because I missed all the exclusives that I skipped out on the 360. 360 was too much shit going on, so I said fuck you. Jumped onto the Xbox One because of the reorganization of the company branches that were in charge of it. People got fired, so I felt like, you know what, maybe I should give these guys a chance, meaning how they're willing to like look at themselves in the mirror and then change their perspectives on the way they should handle company business. So I was like, fuck it, let's go to the Xbox One, because I haven't played an exclusive from them forever. And I skipped out on Gears, I skipped out on all the extra Forzas and the Fables and the whole 9 yards. So I was like, fuck it, Xbox One it is. And I've been good with it ever since. Like, I'm on it all the time. I love my Xbox One. I think it's awesome. I started off as a PlayStation guy, actually, when it came to my gaming. And if I wanted to be technical, I really started my gaming back in my old 2600 days. You know, that was a thing. Or the old Retron. So, I mean, but what got me back into gaming? Nintendo. What got me pretty much stuck on this generation of gaming is my Xbox One. I love it.
Yeah.
See, like with me, like at my PS3, in the very beginning, my PS3 and my 360, I didn't get to game much at all because I was working 17-hour days, 7 days a week, for almost the entire generation. And like towards the very end of the generation is when my disability started, where it actually stopped me from working. And so I dove into like Grand Theft Auto, and then that's whenever the new consoles were coming out, and I was like, well, shit, I'm having so much fun playing Grand Theft Auto and like passing my day away because I'm sitting at home doing nothing, that like getting the new consoles was like a no-brainer to me, because I was like, I've got to have something to do, and I can't stand daytime TV, so why not just, get another game console? So I just went ahead and moved on. We had a Wii U around the house, but I never touched that thing. I had really no interest at all in Nintendo.
Suelo says his first console was the OG Xbox back at 2001. That
was your first console?
Bro, I was a late bloomer to that thing, man. I bought that shit like at the end of its life cycle when I was working in the casinos way back in the day. But you know what? I loved it. That was my technically first ever paid online experience, and I was pretty happy with it, man. Fucking Halo 1 and, Halo 2 kept me up for days. I had Halo 1 on PC when I had the online, and I remember the uproar it had back in those days. That shit was pretty funny, but dude, yeah, that was my first paid online experience, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
I went through 3 Xbox OGs. One of them broke. Yes, one of them. My first one broke, but I kind of expected that because I got it from a crackhead outside of Game Crazy and Hollywood Video. The economy would suck if it weren't for crackheads. But anyway, moving on.
Popper for days.
My second one, I got my first paycheck from Taco Bell is at like 15, and I had to have one, so I went and bought one, and I was taking it to my friend's house at night. I got robbed at gunpoint in front of a Lutheran church by 4 Mexicans. It took my backpack. It had my weed and my Xbox in it. And my third one broke again. So
I only had one OG Xbox. Like I had the PlayStation 2, and that's what I've been gaming on. And my dad, I guess, won a Xbox at his work or whatever. And he's like, "You want this?" I was like, "Oh, sure. Why not? I'll try it out." And I tried it, and that fucking controller was like holding a fucking like
frying pan. The thing was fucking huge.
Yeah, the thing was huge. really uncomfortable. The games that they had on it, like the exclusives that I hadn't played, the other, obviously the games that I weren't playing on PlayStation, didn't really interest me. And so that thing lasted maybe about a month at my house, and then I just sold it. I was like, it's gone.
Yeah,
but yeah, my first system was Pong. Like back
All
whenever,
right,
like
Rambo, we don't need any more gray hair in this conversation here. We all, I mean,
like whenever people say their first system was something that happened like here recently, I'm like going, damn, like shit, like you missed out on so many fucking years of gaming.
No, I had a Super Nintendo. Like in my family, there was usually always a video game console, like all the way back to the Sega Master System. That was my first gaming experience. But the first console I went and worked for and mowed lawns for, that kind of thing, was a Super Nintendo. So, yeah.
We didn't actually own a console till the PS1. But my friends all had
I can't remember
NES, NESs, 64s, and all that. And I had my PC.
I can't remember what my first system I bought with my money was, because it was. If somebody can remind me like what the popular system was in 1992.
I think that was SNES or Sega Genesis, one of the two.
Well, yes, okay, then it was Sega Genesis that I bought, because I never had a SNES.
Sega Genesis.
I lost interest in Nintendo after the NES.
Really, the SNES was amazing.
Yeah, I haven't actually, besides like bought for myself. Obviously, since I've had kids, I've bought them Nintendo systems, but for myself, I have not had a Nintendo system. NES.
Damn.
I had a Game Boy Advance and a Color.
The GameCube was my son's, and I saw the games that he played on it. They all looked like they were like going to like if you're going to pick a movie and you're like, do you want to see Die Hard, or do you want to see Bambi? It was kind of like those type of choices. Like it felt like the other systems had like the more grown up, or like kind of growing up with the gamers type games, and then the Nintendo always seemed to have like the always G-rated games. Like they
have always marketed themselves as a more family friendly or younger child system. Yeah. Even if they did, like the GameCube did have they had Resident Evil and all sorts of adult games. Yeah. But yeah, they especially first party Nintendo has always been, I don't think their first party has ever put out a game that was rated more than like 13, maybe.
But Japan, 13 is like fucking okay.
Age of consent.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Bro, 13 is like they have a career. They've had like 4 wives in Japan. That's crazy.
They can become fucking hentai animators. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on.
Yeah, I just don't do.
Although it's just like the U.S. because even though you'd call it federal, it's the the countrywide age of consent is 13, but I think the lowest it ever goes is 16 by prefecture. So it's kind of like the U.S. because there was a bunch of states that were like 12 and 13 for a while.
Oh, well, yeah, back in the day, but now the federal level is 16.
Yeah, I think California it was like 13 until like I can't remember when it was like 98 or 2002 or whenever the year was when like they really started. Like I think federal went to 16 or something like that.
Yeah, 16. You could only be within 4 years above or below their age. But like if you're 21 and you're dating a 16-year-old, you can go to jail. But if you're 20, you're fine.
Yeah, I know. Even now in California, well, I don't know about now. It would have been maybe 10 years ago. I knew a couple that the girl was, I believe, 16 and the guy was 19, and they were okay.
Yeah.
Like, because her parents got mad, and I know they called the cops on the dude. They're like, there's nothing we can do as long as she says it's cool. Like,
yep, because they're within that age range of consent. Like
they usually call it Romeo and Juliet laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're, you know, as long as you would have both been in high school together, you know, she would have been a freshman, you would have been a senior, but it doesn't
Yep.
matter. You could have met in high school, and you know that's generally considered okay.
Yeah, basically, it was it's a 4-year. The age of consent is 16, but it has to be within a 4-year age gap.
Right.
And I don't know what it is here, but Brimstone's still going to teach me how to use a gun, and I don't give a fuck what it is. I got 3 daughters.
More than likely 16, unless that state has actually been, which I doubt Nevada is. But I imagine your state's 16 because I don't think that they would be the ones to be more strict there at 8, you know, to make it 18. But it's like within the country, the lowest age that's accepted is the age of consent is 16. There's some states in the union that have 18 consent law, you know, age 18 for consent, but nobody goes below 16 anymore.
Are you sure?
I'm still going to be that dad cleaning a shotgun when
I looked it up for some unknown reason a long time ago. It wasn't because of that.
Did you have a side piece, Rambo?
No, it was not because of that. Now I did sleep with the girl. Like she came over to my house. Like whenever I was like, I think I was 30. She came over to my house. She was 17, but we waited until after midnight, and when she turned 18, and then we had sex. Like she came over with the full intention of having sex, but I made sure that we didn't do shit until after midnight.
Let me see your ID, and okay, you got your birth certificate too. All right, we're good.
Dude, Kanye West got locked up with a girl he met at a 21 and older club. I mean, shit, even that doesn't work these days. Just saying.
Rambo was waiting for the fucking illegal to be legal. That's how
right?
hard up this guy was.
No, I wasn't hard up.
Limitations on this.
Bro, he used to be a gigolo, remember?
That was more of me just like wanting to be with figure out like what it's like to be with an 18-year-old again.
17
He was 30 trying to feel young.
I was 30, man. I was going through my midlife crisis.
17 will get you 30, but 17 and a half will only get you 6 months, and it might be worth it. Just saying.
Yeah, it's like I had to weigh out the options. But no, I mean, like it was after that I was looking up like age of consent because I think people were bringing up the age of consent in regards to some of the games that are on PlayStation, and that's what made me go, okay, well, what is the age of consent?
Which
so I started looking around,
which is just fucking stupid.
If it was when Rambo was 30, they didn't Netflix and chill. They watched VHS and chill. I mean,
exactly, yeah. I didn't give her alcohol. That's a good thing, though, guys. I mean, just...
Is GHB considered alcohol?
Right.
No.
We just drank Dr. Pepper, guys.
He's all, oh, you're not old enough to drink. I can't serve you drink, but you know what? I'm gonna fuck you.
it was a piece of ass. Like back then, I didn't care. Like it was just.
Hey, if you look good in a skirt, I'm fucking it. Don't worry about it. You're good.
It was like it didn't matter to me. Like back then, it was just like if I could have sex with you, that's all that mattered. I mean, like
hell yeah, Halo Storm. They watched Back to the Future on VHS when it was new when this happened.
Yeah, back to yeah. I actually saw the original Star Wars trilogy on release in the theaters.
Oh Jesus!
He's like, great Scott, it's after midnight. Let's fuck.
Milady.
Oh fuck! Shut up.
I was a terrible person between my late 20s, early 30s.
Dude, everybody is. Everybody is.
I'm not a terrible person.
Shut up, Shane.
I was terrible. Like I mean, there would be a woman in the morning and a woman in the midtime sometimes, and then a woman at the bar at night. Like it was, and I wouldn't shower in between.
25, I was popping wheelies down Sunrise Avenue and getting girls' phone numbers out of convertibles and shit. Come on, everybody does that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, it was bad. Like I was trying to like see if I could outdo Wilt Chamberlain's like sex partners.
And that, yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was when Rambo had teeth.
When Rambo had what?
When you had teeth.
Still had your
when
teeth.
I had teeth.
Yeah, you don't have teeth anymore, right? You're missing like half your jaws. No.
I'm missing my top because of the medicine that I'm on. I'm getting dentures though.
He's all right.
That's one of the
dentures.
reasons why. One of the reasons why I don't do a lot of like the face cam thing, because I'm very like conscious about it.
Aw.
But the medicine that I'm on is like no matter what I can do, it completely rot. Like it would rot because it's basically heroin. And when you're on heroin for, I don't know, 7, 8 years now, you eventually have problems with your teeth.
Your body deteriorates.
Yep.
Yep.
So
on that note, we're coming up on the 3.5 hour mark.
Damn.
Because you fuckers, Jesus Christ.
We started this when it was daylight. I'm already a half hour away from picking up my wife from work, and she has the closing shift.
Yeah.
what are you like? It's been dark the whole time for me.
Well,
It shifted to dark for me, but it
That's
is
because you're on the
dark
shit
now.
East Coast, Rambo. We're on the West
I'm
Coast.
in-
We're
I'm in
side,
Central.
right?
I'm a
What's-
true
what's-
centrist. I'm a true centrist, man. I live like in the fucking middle of Oklahoma, which is in the middle of the fucking United States.
yeah,
You can't get any more centrist
and-
than me.
And you are always in the eye of a storm, so yeah, you're right about that.
Yes, like
Tornado Alley.
Tornado.
yeah.
Goddamn
like-
haters, get off my porch.
So when we have tornadoes, we love tornadoes here in Oklahoma.
And they love your trailer parks.
Oh, don't
We
they
watch 'em.
though?
We get outside and watch them form and shit like that. Like we're driving
Crazy
I've
redneck.
actually been driving on the highway with one on the side road, like you're driving on the not on the side road, but like in the field area, like right next to the side road, like going the same direction as us. I could watch it like tearing shit up as we were driving on the road, like a highway. It's cool. Like we love tornadoes. Like, well, some of us do here. Some of us are like,
Don't worry, honey.
shell-shocked
That
with it.
nader's not going to get us.
We got a basement. Don't worry, it's insured.
No, we don't have basements here.
You guys don't
That's
have storm cellars?
retarded.
I thought you had storm cellars. I thought that was like Oklahoma.
We have
like,
we have
90%
storm
storm
cellars.
cellar property.
We have storm cellars, but we don't actually. They're not mandatory. Which you would think they would be. But the basements, there's some old houses that have basements, but now only the really super wealthy people here in Oklahoma will be able to have basements, because to build a basement in Oklahoma, you have to put up like you're building a house, you have to put up like 10% or 20% of the cost of the house, and then you can like pay towards it and stuff. Well, if you add a basement, you have to put up 50% of the cost.
That's
Jesus.
So if you're building a $100,000 home, you have to come up with $50,000 right out just to have a basement.
Yo, that's fucking retarded.
So most people don't have basements when they build a house now because it's so damn expensive.
That's
Because
fucking
of
stupid.
the red clay here, our dirt isn't brown. Like literally none of our dirt. If you dig it up,
That's kind of racist. You can't dictate that.
it's all red. It's just clay.
Now that's
our-
racist to my
Reference
people.
the Indians, yeah.
That's racist to
Yeah.
my people.
It's where we killed all the Indians. Basically, the ground is tainted red now.
You son of a bitch. Brimstone's going to do a rain dance, and we're going to send a tornado that way.
But I'm
What
fucking
happened?
Indian too, so.
Try the African magic and call some lightning on him.
He's already burned parts of California.
I have been trying to reach.
Yeah, but parts of California deserve it.
Parts of California, your whole state deserves it. We just gotta get you out of there, Pete.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get over the state line. You can help us chisel that son of a bitch out into the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, when our mall here flooded, a water main broke, and it's our wealthy mall, the one where like you have to. It's like right
Have,
in
like
the
a
heart of
membership
the.
to get in.
It's almost like that because it's like right in the heart of the part of the city called Nichols Hills. It's like right by that, where they actually have a law in Nichols Hills. You cannot drive a truck, like an actual pickup truck. Like you cannot, if you
What?
drive a truck, it has to be in your garage. It cannot be parked in your driveway.
Wow.
Fuck that.
That's
Like
stupid.
very, very wealthy people, or whatever. So this mall has like, if you know anything about pots and pans and shit, it's a place called Williams Sonoma. That is basically like the Macy's or whatever of pots and pans, and like that's the type of stores it has in this mall. And I took a video of it because like we had a water main break in there, and the bottom floor it looked like basically somebody had flushed the toilet because it was like a reddish brown color and the water was just covering everywhere. And so everybody was like, when I took a picture of it and posted on Twitter, everybody was like, if that's your water main break and that's your drinking water, it looks like it came from the toilet. And I was like, it's because it's red clay. They're like, what? I was like, our ground is red. Like, it's not brown like everybody else's. It's red here. And so whenever the water main breaks, it hits the red clay, and guess what? The water.
So if you're tired of brown things, go to Oklahoma.
It's a bitch though, because if your kids play outside, the red clay doesn't come out of your clothes, so you're just stuck with the stain.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The desert's kind of similar, I think. Like, you can't really dig in the dirt out here, right, Brim?
Well, you could dig in the dirt out here. I wouldn't. I mean, do it during the wintertime, so if you're gonna die, you can die happy. Because there's a lot of rock. In fact, Arizona's got one of the largest numbers of stone quarries in the Union. Like, we have some of the largest amounts of mining and stone quarries for like marble and granite and shit. Like, it's ridiculous out here. Like, if I were to dig in my backyard right now, I would be pulling up fucking like ginormous ass boulders before I even get any dirt first. It's ridiculous. But we are coming up on the 3.5. Oh, we're past the 3.5 hour mark now. Let's talk about. Let's start wrapping it up towards Shane. What have you been playing lately, sir?
During the podcast before, the neighborhood brawl, and I had to run something to my wife, I was playing Tekken 6 and Metal Slug 3, I believe. But I've just been playing a little bit of everything on my Xbox. There's so much to choose from that sometimes it's hard. Like, I don't mean they have a lot of games, Rambo, so put the bias aside. I just mean between Brimstone and myself, we have a lot to choose from on the Xbox One.
I was just gonna I was gonna fuck with you, but I thought, nah, and I'm like, I'm going to.
Yeah, I heard you snickering, motherfucker.
Yeah, I couldn't help.
I will be playing Batman Arkham Origins when they make it available for digital purchase. For some reason, it's not available yet. It's like Black Ops 1 was, or Red Dead Redemption, when it first became backwards compatible. You gotta kind of wait for them to catch up.
Sounds
Speaking of your backwards compatible, when is Xbox going to fix that on the damn store? Like, where you can actually purchase it with Xbox credit, or that you don't have to click see price in order to see the price, where it actually looks like an Xbox game.
I don't know, but that pisses me off too. I hate clicking see price. And then you can't click B to get out of it. You got to go to cancel.
No. Yeah, you have to hit cancel in order to get out. It's so frustrating. Like, you're going to have backwards compatible games. Make them actually backwards compatible. Like, put them on the system like a normal game. Just mark them 360.
Right?
I hope they fix that soon.
So, and this will segue Rambo into what have you been playing, sir?
Well, I just finished up Tales from the Borderlands on Xbox One. That's what propelled me into ahead of both of y'all in achievement points.
Yeah.
I'm coming, Rambo. Shut up.
Oh no, I still got more Telltale games to play. Let's see. I'm also I just started like right before the podcast Hellblade, so I'm playing through that, and I'm also kind of like gonna go between Hellblade. I hear Hellblade's not that long, but that and possibly gonna try to platinum Bloodborne.
Oh God.
Nice. So you're gonna try to platinum Bloodborne? You said.
Yes.
I need to actually fire up my PlayStation to play that game again because I was actually really enjoying it. Okay, Pete, what about you, man? What have you been playing?
Not much. Overwatch hasn't been working for me, so I'm just playing Titanfall 2. Not much else.
You're like, my PC won't let me play anything else, unfortunately.
I know, right? Sucks.
I have this beast-ass fucking CPU, but yet I can't do anything with it right now.
Yeah. I don't know. Overwatch is being a bitch, so I'll just have to wait.
I understand.
What about you, Brimstone?
Is it because of the wait? Is it because of the summer update?
No,
No.
it was a couple patches back, and it's a
Oh,
weird
okay.
bug, and it doesn't happen to a lot of people, but it's been happening across the board as far as parts go. So we don't really know what exactly it is.
I tried to nail it down for him last night, and I couldn't because there was
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 forums that were having the
And
same
it only
issues
happens
as
on
him.
that game, so you
Yeah.
know it's not a hardware thing, and it's been happening like every kind of card imaginable.
Yep.
AMD,
Okay.
Nvidia, everything. So who knows? You know, maybe it's either Windows, AMD, or Blizzard,
Well, with the
or,
way
or Windows, AMD, and Nvidia, or something in the drivers, something in Windows, or something in Blizzard's game. And
the way Windows has been with their updates have been kind of screwing things.
exactly. And it could have been that. The creators
could be
update
real
did
well.
just drop.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, and they've been having some issues with. I haven't had too many, but there have been some people with some issues. So that easily could have conflicted with something in the game. Who knows?
Yep.
As
Okay.
far as me, like I just got hooked up by some developers with a title called Area, which is an over-the-top hack and slash. So I'm gonna be playing that probably a little bit tonight. I'm gonna record some footage, and I'm gonna give you guys my first opinions on it. And then there's another game that I got called Super Cloud Built, which I got the first one, which is just a regular Cloud Built, which is a pretty fun game. It's a parkour / shooter type of game. It fills that little niche of the community really well. It's like I said, I played the first one. It was a lot of fun, but lately it's just been I've been slowly getting back into Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I've actually been enjoying that a lot. I've been kind of no-lifing it a little bit in the last couple of days. Then I get off of work early, and then I've been playing some Call of Duty 4. Probably gonna get on some Overwatch tonight. Maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll play some Titanfall 2 with my boy here. Oh no!
Infinite Warfare. Are you sure? Blink twice if you're being held against your will.
No, he is not here. There's nobody here that's holding a gun to my head. Okay, do I get paid yet? No, I'm just kidding. No, I actually do enjoy that game. It's not bad. It's not a terrible fucking game.
No,
I
it's
enjoyed
not.
the story of it. I never
Thanks,
played the
man.
multiplayer, but the story of it was really good.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, that's what I've been up to, man. I played quite a bit of Tekken 6 last week when I bought it. Like, sort of no-lifed it, actually.
I kicked his ass a few times.
You did.
Own it, bitch.
I'm
Show 'em
looking.
who's boss.
I also been playing some of that Doom multiplayer on the Xbox. It's pretty good. I thought I was gonna hate it, but I have actually ended up hating it. I actually ended up hating it a lot less. Yeah. On
wow.
PC, it's different. It's a little different. Like, it takes a lot more to fucking kill. So, like, on PC, it's above Halo standards overshield type of shit, which is crazy to me. But on console, it's about the same. So, but I am looking forward to that Quake Live, man. I'm waiting for that new Quake to come out. I know I got a few of my buddies that are like, fuck that shit. We don't need any more hero shooters. And I'm like, yo, but this is Quake, though. You know what I mean?
We
It's
do
Quake.
need hero shooters, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just think they're all getting overshadowed. I mean, they're all being every single hero shooter is being compared to Overwatch because of.
True.
And I think that Overwatch's success is what's going to make the downfall of any other hero shooters being launched.
Yeah. I could
But
see
hopefully Quake, because Quake has a pretty long-standing name on the PC, so hopefully Quake can do
Break
something
out
these
of
other
that,
people
yeah.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, that's I mean, oh, you want to talk about that real quick? Codename Aquarius, I'm late to Tonga stream. I saw it up to the point, and then I said, you know what? I'm just gonna forget about this whole situation, and I left.
Yeah,
and that's
me
what
too.
I did. That's what I did.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't watch it, and I mean, I know it's live now or up on this channel because I saw somebody like, I think Necro liked it or whatever, so it popped up on my feed on Twitter or whatever. But I have no intention of watching the stream because they're arguing a point that was never made by me. So it was just kind of no. There's no point in watching that. It's just
Yeah,
Not
things
worth my
taken out of
time and-
context.
Yeah, like it's kind of hard to. I mean, if they had a legitimate argument, I'd probably watch it just to see what the argument was. But their argument is over a definition they don't understand. So it's kind of
we really left it at that because there was no point in going back and forth. I got tired of it.
I was just done.
I corrected. I did my best to correct them in their stream, and they could take that for what it's worth. It seemed like Fertunga finally understood what was going on. But by the time he did, I just kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and leave. So I did.
And Aquarius, things are cool. Stonesy was in here for a little bit.
Yeah, he was in here. Everything was good. Yeah, Stonesy and us were cool again. Well, I never had an issue with him, but it seemed like him and Rambo and Stonesy were able to talk and be in the same room together and be fine. If you notice at the beginning, Rambo was kind of, giving his, but, like, even, I gotta admit, like, that turned out a lot better, Rambo, than what we thought. Would you agree?
Yeah, because I was just thinking that whenever he was coming in here, he was going to try to say something smart that would bring up that shit. So that's the reason why my that type of thing is. But then we were able to keep it on topic and move along. So I was okay with that. I have no problem with Stonesy or any of them. Like personal wise, I can be in the same room and talk to them about anything other than the damn word objectively.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, continually keeping it going or having some sort of animosity or back and forth between us
it makes the whole situation worse.
Yeah. So that's the reason why I have no purpose in watching it, because I know more than likely they might have, especially knowing Stonesy, maybe threw out some, like, even personal insults in there, because that's just his demeanor, and for me to watch that would have then enticed me to say something, and it's just like a never-ending cycle. So that's what I can just walk away and
it's not healthy.
Yeah, walk away. Let them have their video. I'll have my video, and we'll just be we'll be okay. And then if they want to jump into a stream and talk like they did today, like where we were talking about a subject, and keep
more
it on the subject, I'm okay with that. So.
Yep. I agree, sir. I agree. But, so if you guys enjoyed this episode of episode 3, please leave us a like, retweet this bitch, tag random motherfuckers you don't know, and tell them, watch it, bitches! And see what happens. I'm kind of curious, actually, because I know you guys actually listen to us when it comes to Twitter, which is kind of scary. So, in that case, speaking of Twitter, Pete, do you have a Twitter?
Do not.
Why not?
Oh, yeah, remember, he's anti-Twitter.
I really don't want to support that company. I really don't.
Even for shitposts?
Your Twitter is not going to make or break them, dude.
I want it to go away, so I can't, in good conscience, be a part of it, because then I am continuing it.
But
even if it's by a tiny amount, it doesn't matter. Something else needs to come along and replace it, because it's become fucking cancerous.
So right now, Peter is an edgelord. He is so edgy he can go straight down the center. That's how edgy he is. But we are gonna go ahead and get off of this. But I'm gonna have to end it in some weird fucking way. So Rambo, are you sure she wasn't just like really turning 18 and maybe she was like turning 17?
Or 15.
Yes, I actually checked an ID.
Really?
And ID though.
I wanted
He's
to make
like
sure
a bouncer at a club.
I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to go to jail the next day.
So, like, did her parents find out that you banged her or no?
I don't know. I never talked to her again.
Jesus, Rambo, that's horrible.